And welcome to the Will English Invitational. My name is Will English IV, and we have a very special edition, ladies and gentlemen. We were able to pull together the EU edition of the tournament, and we have Kyle Wainfeather and Sim Bowell from all across the pond. It is 8:30 in the morning here in Chicago, but across the pond it is the right time to get this started. How are y'all doing this? I guess this afternoon. This is across the world.
Yeah, it is 2:17 over here, and feeling good. Looking forward to watching some really quality Overwatch. Thanks so much for having us, Will.
Absolutely. No, thank you. I have to tell a little bit of a story here. So, like, we did the first Invitational. Somebody asked me to do an EU version, and I was like, nah, I don't think it's going to work. And then the second one, so shout-outs, what really made this possible was Nate's from Shum's Money's crew told me that they would join our tournament if I threw an EU version, and I'm not sure what their gender is, but they begged me to do it, and I was like, fine, I'll do it. Let's see what happens. And then I just set the goal at 18s. We filled it up in 24 hours. So thank you to everyone. You all made this possible. And I'm going to let both Kyle and Sim do the honors in doing our first match, which is going to be Incendia versus Fourth Dimension. I should know that. So thank you both so much.
No, our pleasure, 100%. And we have got some really good teams coming up for you as well, as was just stated by Will there. We do have Shoes Money Crew coming up a little later on, so make sure that you stick around and check that out. But the game facing us this afternoon, we have Incendia versus Fourth Dimension, Cal.
Absolutely. These two teams are really powerful. They're the two teams that you would you just love to see face off, and they'd have a little bit of a grudge against each other. So we're going to see a bit of a grudge match here between these two teams. And
yeah, which is really good.
Yeah. Good way to start things off.
Yeah, it
going
certainly
through the
is.
rosters. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are playing a best of 3 in this tournament, double elimination as well. Looking toward Incendia, however, as we head to Busan, they do have quite a few accolades to their name. A lot of Contenders Trials players on Incendia's team, so a really scary roster to face up against for Fourth Dimension, Cal.
Absolutely. You have the Contenders players, and these are really, really good players. I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but it's just the truth. You have players from Open Division, from Contenders, all facing off, and it's just sort of a hodgepodge of the best from Contenders and Open Division.
Yep, absolutely. And with Overwatch League just around the corner as well, what better way to warm up for some competitive Overwatch than enjoying this EU tournament right here, right now. So thank you very much for joining us for the William English tournament here in EU. When we look at the map pool as well, we've got Busan coming up first. Brawl has been super prominent in EU, so we're very likely going to see a lot of that, Cal. I don't know if you've noticed any other compositions emerging yet. Is Brawl just king at the moment, or are we likely going to see something else?
I think that, at least in my experiences, I am from NA, so disclaimer for that, but Busan has a lot of different compositions that you can see. You can see the Brawl, you can see some of the dive as well. But since this is EU, we're probably going to see a lot more of that brawl, that sort of rush composition, than we might see in an NA tournament. We'll have to see as we get in soon. So regardless, we're going to get in about a minute, and we'll get into Busan.
Yeah, we certainly will. I mean, I'm so excited to be here. And like you said, Brawl going to be pretty dominant as we head through onto Busan. I mean, we're hoping that these aren't going to be completely blowout games, and I can't imagine that will be the case as we do start here on Busan. Fourth Dimension might not be the favorites going into this, but I would not count them out just yet, Cal.
No, absolutely. And we see an interesting sort of composition with the double shield versus the dive, definitely at a disadvantage for the Fourth Dimension there, as we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, and a pause is going to come in early.
Hey, you know that we got to get a pause in if we're doing a live tournament. It's got to happen. But yeah, like you said, the double shield from Fourth Dimension is an interesting pick, considering it may be in its weakest point that it's ever been in the meta, which is certainly interesting coming up against a double bubble from Incendia, Cal.
Absolutely. The strength of double shield is when it stays away from the enemy team, and there's the switch. We're gonna have the ball Sigma from Fourth Dimension, so a little bit of an interesting compositional choice, but we're on the Wrecking Ball. It's gonna definitely be a treat as we get into this first fight.
Yeah, Julo on this Wrecking Ball, just going to try and surround and conquer the name of the game here. Julo with the pile driver, putting Dimi under a lot of pressure. They're forced away with the Discord Orb on top of that Winston as well, doing a ton of damage as Julo just free here. The Fourth Dimension pretty happily capping up the point with the aid of their Tracer. It is a contest coming in as Eve will take out Andre there. A huge opening up with no Zenyatta with Discord Orb available. Eve is feeling the heat as the pressure is on with a Sigma in his face. NKZ forced back, however, and the first clip does go to Incendia.
Absolutely. I mean, you see such a one small piece when you're talking about contenders and open division teams. One small piece like that Zenyatta, you lose that Discord, you lose all of your damage output, and the fight just follows.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and a very patient approach from Fourth Dimension here. However, NKZ getting a little far forward as the point is being pressured up here by Julo, and his Tracer compadre will be contested eventually by Incendia here, but the re-engage is there, and Q Best goes down early to Brave, and a big opening pick that Anna missing forces the Valk out from the Muffin and will res up Q Best, but all the while Eve will fall here, and the picks looking pretty good in the favor of Fourth Dimension, who are battered and bruised here, and Mr. Dragon going to work, sends that pulse bomb slightly wayward and will fall to Julo there, as this is just a matter of time for Fourth Dimension before they finally get this flip in their favor here. Rosario will fall and Fourth Dimension flip the point.
Absolutely. You saw the sort of pressure from the back cap dislodges Incendia Esports from their positions, and it allows Fourth Dimension to get aggressive onto the point and take down that Zenyatta early, Eve. And that's not going to be a good sign for this defensive hold for Fourth Dimension.
Yeah, I mean, an all-out ult fest on the point here as Julo drops the mine for Transcendence out as well to boot. Isaac will fall to those mines, and Bob is doing a world of hurt here. Disperse goes absolutely crazy on the Ash, picks up 4 final blows with the aid of the Bob there, and Fourth Dimension holding on to the point now.
It was an old Fiesta, like you said, and it just seems like Fourth Dimension came out on top thanks to Froki with that good resurrection onto their Zenyatta.
Yeah, well, both teams sort of playing it slow and playing it back. The Braven gets caught up, and Eve will find a pick as well. The grab is thrown in for good measure. This is going to be a quick flip for Incendia. As soon as NKZ is out of this mech, the Baby Diva is exposed, and the flip comes through. The Wrecking Ball can do nothing but stall here. The flip back, but these teams are so evenly matched right now, Cal.
I completely agree. We've seen this point flip over and over again, and that's just a sign of two really good teams facing off. One team wins the fight, and then the other team comes and wins it back.
Yeah, Brazen now taking this duel with Mr. Dragon here on the point, but he has got the aid of his Ana. Now the Wrecking Ball Julo goes in to aid Raven. This is a very dancey move, but Dragon comes out on top, and that, without the Tracer, is a lot of harassment damage missing. Surely in this final fight situation, this is going to be an important fight for Fourth Dimension to win. Everlover, Evelover will take out Andre Yuko though, and that is not great. Eve going to town, and Demi on that Primal Rage finds the pick up to disperse, as well as the overtime is ticking down. They had the initial pick, but Fourth Dimension lose this fight with the stick onto Eve. It's all for naught unless Raven can touch. They do in the nick of time, and this is all to play for here. And up against a world of trouble, Froakie will fall to Isaac here, and it's just stagger after stagger. Brazen tries their best to turn this around and finds Eve again as NKZ picks up the Mercy. Demi clapping back, however, and finding a pick of their own as NKZ is unmet and in trouble. Demi going to town, and the overtime is over. Incendia take that first point there.
That first pick on the Tracer onto Braven was so important because they had the Pulse Bomb. Braven had that Pulse Bomb, such a crucial ultimate, and they had to throw it in at sort of garbage time where they were staggering in. They couldn't really contest the resurrection from the Mercy, and it somewhat got wasted just because of that early pick onto the Tracer.
Yeah, but such evenly matched teams at the moment. I'm very impressed with Demi on this Winston as well. That is something that I think we should be looking out for Incendia, the main tank, doing a ton of work, Cal.
And they are. I think we saw Demi on the Primal Rage, but you just had incredible amounts of work being done by Demi throughout that entire first round, and we'll see if that continues into the second round.
Yeah, Braven's gone ahead and gotten them all the way around the back as Disperse finds the rough end of Tracer bullets there. Mr. Dragon will take out Disperse, and this point's not even unlocked yet, but the first casualty goes to Incendia Esports here as Fourth Dimension want to get stuck in, and they do just that. Incendia find another pick. Mr. Dragon, a dangerous Tracer at the moment, taking out Froakie there and still going to town. Andre on the Zenyatta in a spot of bother will be taken out as NKZ will find Eve Lover there as well. But Demi has the point on lock, and the first flip goes to Incendia as soon as this Tracer is dealt with by Braven.
Fourth Dimension was playing a little bit split there. Half the team was trying to get that early point contest, that Tracer and the Wrecking Ball, but that doesn't really work when the point isn't unlocked yet. And now we see Mr. Dragon on this flank with that Pulse Bomb. This could be devastating.
Could be devastating, but someone is already pressuring the point from Fourth Dimension. The Pulse Bomb does go wide from Dragon, and he's forced out. Julo, however, has his number and will finish him off. Disaster strikes as Fourth Dimension go in for the kill. They take out Demi as well. Just as Zarya holding down the fort at the moment will be surrounded and conquered here, and the flip surely coming through now for Fourth Dimension. That was kind of the worst case scenario for Incendia there, Cal.
That it was. Demi tried to get the jump, and I'm not sure if it was the Diva or the Brigitte, denied that dive, just whip-shotting or booster jetting into them, and just not letting Demi get any sort of dive onto anything he wanted to do.
Yeah, now with Fourth Dimension having a bunch of ults, Incendia gonna have a rough time getting back on this point. Do nearly have this rally to go, which will help in this fight as Disperse just poking and prodding here. Now it's Braven's turn. Oh, the Pulse Bomb doesn't quite find the stick, but does get Isaac very low here. Primal Rage out from Demi as well. Will not find any kills just yet. Julo going in with the aid of the EMP and the minefield here as MKZ holding down the full on the point. Kills back and forth, however, as Demi picks up Andre Yoke there. A slightly misplaced grab from Isaac spells disaster. Will pick up Disperse there, but very, very low themselves on this point. Trying to make something happen for NKZ. Finishing off the Torbjorn, and Isaac with a pick of their own onto NKZ. The Baby Diva will fall, but this position looks pretty unwinnable for Incendia. They want to try and flip it over, however. Q-Best is on this right-hand side and is free to just pocket their Winston. The rally is on Muffin here, but the contest is still going strong from Fourth Dimension. Nano now invested onto Demi, who can just go ham with the Tesla cannon into the backline, harass that Zenyatta, and pressure all of the enemy team away, so the Incendia will get this flip finally, but it cost them dearly.
That it did. All of those ults used from Fourth Dimension, they were charging that entire time that they were stalling. Incendia Esports, they had to use those ults right at the end. But I think Q-Best on that Ana just had free reign of it. You talked a little bit about it. But they were just able to sit there and pocket the Winston and make sure that Demi never died.
Oh, speaking of never died, Mr. Dragon, who's looked so good at the moment, will fall early this fight here. Fourth Dimension may see an opening and opt for it. Isaac falls to a pulse bomb as well as Disperse. Finally feeling the heat a little bit on this Sombra as the flip begins to come through. But Incendia, despite all of their numbers not being in their favor, are finding picks and holding on to this point. The stall is legendary and they forced Fourth Dimension back.
That was incredible, and just down to good play by the people there. Mr. Dragon's pulse bomb is going to go wide, but will be able to get out. And now both these teams are in final fight territory.
Yeah, EMP comes out straight away, only catches Isaac though. He does have the Discord Orb lapped on top of him. Doesn't find the kill onto Isaac, however, as he's allowed to just get on out the way. Braven, however, swapping to the McCree in the hour of need, picks up Demi straight away, finally muffling that Winston that's been in their backline the entire time. Also finding a second pick there with the aid of the Transcendence, allowing him to just push forward and cleave some damage through with this Peacekeeper here. The flip surely in their favor now, as the grab committed as well from Isaac, potentially going to want that back. But Demi and Isaac will find picks apiece here, as the overtime is now in Incendia's favor, who have just traded kills back and forth. Isaac with another kill and a third onto Disperse. They will get the flip though, but that was some heroics. Demi's still going though, he's not finished, and they get the flip. Oh my god, Cal.
Isaac and Demi just decided that they were not going to lose this point. They did not want to go to round 3, and thanks to some heroics from them, I don't think they'll have to. The stall's going to come out from Fourth Dimension, but it's just a matter of time here, it seems.
Yeah, certainly. If Eve is just uncontested on this soldier, just in the midst of the team, in the middle of the brawl and going to town, as this soldier is just free reign at the moment. It's desperation hour for Fourth Dimension as the Wrecking Ball goes down there. Jula will fall. Overtime is but a sorry sight as nobody touches, and Incendia Esports will take Busan.
A really close first match, first round there, but
yeah,
regardless, just look at this Disperse play. That was the double kill on the Dynamite, I remember. The Bob kill, and just, there's the supports, there's the DPS, there's the supports, there's the tanks, and it's just free reign. And that's been a lot of the story, is that there's a lot of these players who, when you leave them alone, they can just absolutely pop off. And how do you do something like that when every single player, if you leave them alone, can absolutely demolish your team?
Yeah, I mean, Incendia look like their positioning is on point. They look as though in scrappy fights, they're the ones coming out on top, and that is always going to be a scary team. When you think you've won a fight against a team, and then either their tank or a DPS, or God forbid a support comes through with the rally and just clutches a fight up, you are always going to be on edge until all 6 members are back in spawn. So Incendia doing a really good job of putting Fourth Dimension on the back foot, and their positioning has been so good. Like we were saying about Q-Best on that Ana, when the fight got scrappy, they still took themselves out of the fight. They didn't get drawn into contesting. They knew that they could build a nano and just get that Winston to carry the fight for them. So excellently done from Incendia, but it was close, Cal.
That it was. We had both of those rounds were incredibly close, and those points were flipped over and over again. And we're going to get into, pretty soon as we get ready from the teams, we're going to get into our second map, which is going to be King's Row.
An absolute classic and an EU favorite because, you know, you can run the Brawl. But we haven't actually seen Brawl because we didn't see Mecha Base from Busan, which is obviously the favorite for that. So it's going to be anyone's guess as to whether they do opt for this Brawl or whether we do see the double bubble coming back through. But Demi for Incendia has looked on form, if you ask me. I think that the main tank for Incendia has been really solid, pulling out really good plays, not overextending ever, and always being impactful, so long as they know that they can do it with either resources from their team or their own bubble, or that they've got Primal Rage ready to go. So that would be a scary Reinhardt. I would be frightened to come up against Cal.
Absolutely. It's aggression, but it's smart aggression. We've all had people in our ranked games who, you know, they're aggressive, but they're kind of stupid aggressive. They just hit W at all the wrong times. Demi isn't like that. Demi is pushing W at all the right times. He knows when he's got the resources. He knows when the right times to go in are. And he's helped Incendia get the result that they did on Busan. And we'll have to see if he's going to be the difference maker in King's Row.
Yeah, and he certainly could be, but the DPS for Incendia, no slouch either. We saw some wonderful plays, but like I said, this might be an opportunity for Brawl to come out, where if you are playing the traditional style of Brawl, it is just going to be whose Mei walls are better as we head through, only we're not quite seeing that here, Cal.
No, we're not. We're seeing pretty interesting. I'm going to talk about the defense because right now, of course, Fourth Dimension, they could switch to anything right now. They could switch to double shield. They could switch to what they're doing right now. We see a pretty standard dive composition from Fourth Dimension and a pretty solid rush composition. So we're going to see both these teams clash in the double bubble. And I do want to see this fight between Dragon and Disperse, the McCree versus the Echo. And I think that'll be a bit of a microcosm as to how this game is going.
Yeah, I mean, Disperse is going to have to respect Dragon after that performance on the Tracer last game. Going to be no slouch here as Disperse just posturing up, looking for an opening here, just that pressure onto Demi, getting them out of the point here and zoning this Brawl comp very well, corralling them into this hotel zone here with the Mercy Pocket, of course. Now the moment to strike, it seems, as Disperse will engage, but Dragon takes out Braven here and just stops the attack in its tracks. They will go in for it, Fourth Dimension, with a tentative dive. Julo very quickly getting up on out of there. But they do have control of the high ground, Cal.
Now, hold on.
They're just going to wait for their Tracer to come back, going to evade the flashbang from Dragon, and then they're just going to go back in. That's a huge anti-nade from Andre.
Oh, it really was, and Eve goes so very low there as they punch out of that hotel, but now the issue is Disperse has wrapped around and has the duplicate, goes for the count win, takes out Dragon with the aid of Dulo there. Now the Deadeye is online for them if they choose to use it, and one tick already available for them as the numbers are thinning for the defense here, and some heroics are going to have to happen. Demi does find the pin kill, and Isaac picks up the Mercy here, but NKZ is in his face and 100 charge. Not today, they say, Fourth Dimension, as they do clap up first point.
They really do, and that was just surrounding. It felt like Incendia Esports were just being sieged in that hotel, just surrounded, cutting off any sort of hope they have of getting out of there. And wherever they went, there was just some form of damage. And that's what we talked about with every single person on this team being able to just pop off. Then they surround you, and you can't breathe, and you're scared of every one of them.
Yeah, and that's never where you want to be. A Reinhardt with things all around you, but a good wrap around the back here for Incendia. The grab, however, comes out nice and early, and the Pulse Bomb finds 3 along with the Primal Raid. A 4th kill for Braven there, and this cart will keep on rolling. A monstrous demonstration in team play from 4th Dimension.
Absolutely, and you still have some ultimates online for 4th Dimension, but if you're Incendia Esports, you cannot lose this next fight. You're gonna have the ult advantage, you're gonna have 3 ults. You cannot let this cart get to the end of point B.
Yeah, and Incendia do not plan on doing it either, as an all-out brawl on the point is taking place, as 4th Dimension feeling the heat and forced out, especially with 27 throwing that beat down as well, just allowing Denny to take all the more space here and shoo away 4th Dimension. The Graviton Surge only finds one from Isaac, and he's very, very loaded himself. Julo does not get killed off, and the Nano goes through. The Shatter finds nothing from Denny there. A disaster in the defense at the moment, but they're throwing everything and the kitchen sink at it. Incendia want to win this fight, and as Demi slashes and dashes, hacks and kills, they might just hold on to this for now, but a Shatter from the duplicated Disperse gonna cause a trouble here for the defending team, as Eve is on this Tracer and trying to make the magic happen. The pressure is on, and 4th Dimension have no intention of turning down the temperature anytime soon. The Immortality Field is out now as well, as Braven sticks that Pulse Bomb, but the Immortality Field will save him. 4th Dimension now struggling to find these ending kills, and the High Noon from Dragon picks up a support. Denny back on the Wrecking Ball in the midst of the fight will pick up NKZ as well, and Incendia just about doing enough to stabilize their Cal.
That was a legendary stall. You have much closer spawns if you for Incendia, so they knew that they just had to keep that cart from reaching the end of point B, and they could just win with the quicker spawn, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and looking pretty good though. I mean, they spent a lot of time here as well with the Graviton Surge dueling come out both at the same time. Isaac's was bigger, but nets them the same amount of kills here, as Isaac will fall, and the Resurrect goes through onto Disperse, which is not great, as Dragon pressured out there by Braven, who's found themselves on the left-hand side of the payload, and now the picks for 4th Dimension finally break the down of the defense, as the Wrecking Ball, the lone survivor here, gonna spin to win, but unfortunately not, as this second point is capped up.
Yeah, the 2 Gravitons there were very interesting because neither really got an advantage for either team, and now coming into this, you have both DPS ults for 4th Dimension compared to, well, both DPS ults and a tank ult on Incendia, so a little bit of an advantage for Incendia, but it's going to be who uses them better, and here comes Disperse copying the Zarya.
Yeah, and who uses it first as well. Eve finds a pick, however, whilst this duplicated Disperse is in the backline, and before you can blink, Incendia pick up 3 kills, make that 4 if this Ana will fall as well to Demi, who's done God's work in the backline here, just harassing and corralling a 4th Dimension back to their spawn. I mean, that was over before it started there.
Absolutely, it seems so, and it seems it's going to start up again quickly, as not a lot of time left and not a lot of ults for 4th Dimension. They're pretty far away from any sort of ultimate. They may have the Nano in a little bit, but that's about it. Here comes the High Noon.
Yeah, well, the High Noon, Mr. Dragon was under so much pressure to pull that trigger early, but held calm and composed. Muffin with a whip shot kill onto Julo there, off the edge they go, and it will be a reset. And the restraint from Dragon there to hold was so well played.
It really was. He was being dived. He had all that pressure on him, but he was able to just keep it going. Here comes the amplification matrix from QS, trying to just gonna draw away 4th Dimension and make them stay put just for a little bit.
Yeah, it buys them some time there, and now we're in what could be final fight territory, and NKZ inching closer to this Graviton Surge, but the mines are down on the cart, and this could be chaos here as the Primal Rage is out as well. It's an all-out brawl fest on the point, and everybody's pressing Q here. Fourth Dimension coming out on top, however, with one more pick in the bank, forcing themselves forward here as Incendia backed into a corner, but like a rabid beast, that might be where they're most dangerous, Cal.
I need healing.
They are backed into a corner, and that corner is their spawn. They're gonna have all the damage and all the time that they want. Oh, a mischarge! That's not good for Demi. But Demi finds the double kill on the Fire Strike.
He finds the double kill on the Fire Strike at the death. There's no way that they should have been able to survive in the backline like that. A Graviton Surge out in desperation from the duplicated Disperse. They will pick up a kill onto Isaac, but numbers are thin for the attacking team, and 3 seconds left on the clock. They don't get to touch unless this Tracer touches. Braven will be the man of the hour to do it, and a second one from NKZ. The brawl, the rally will come out from Froki, but the pin will shut that down before it even began here. It's just a matter of time before that Overwatch ticks down, and overtime is here and gone as soon as it started. Incendia will stop the payload right here.
Oh, Demi, that's just disgusting. The double kill Fire Strike and the charge kill onto the rallying Brigitte. No, that's just, it's so beautiful.
That was really some heroics from Demi there. I mean, Demi pinned as far as his pin would let him go into Fourth Dimension's core. There was no way, with a flashbang as well, that he should have gotten out of there alive, but he did with the support of his team, and he's just allowed to be this unapologetically aggressive, which is so commendable from the rest of the team around Incendia, that they can make that happen and let Demi just Giga Chad in the backline. I mean, that is unbelievable from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk about, Demi being amazing, but that's down to the supports. The supports are able to keep Demi alive, probably shaving a few years off of their lifespan, but keeping him alive nonetheless. As now, Incendia Esports, they know what they need to do for this attack. They just need to get 2 points, 53 meters.
Yep, that is, they're running this long rotation around the side, but oh my word, Disperse catches both the supports with that right click. A brutal start to this attack, and now Incendia caught in this small room with Disperse, who's almost got their duplicate online already. NKZ also getting involved in that fight and finding 2 final blows themselves. That's almost a minute gone off the clock, and Fourth Dimension looking good.
Yeah, that's the challenge with long rotations. They look nice, and they can often catch the enemy team off guard, but if they don't work, you've lost a lot of time off the clock, and Disperse has been fed so much ultimate charge, has more ults charge than pretty much anyone else on any team. As the comp change will come in from Incendia Esports, we'll see how it worked with his Ash. Here comes the copy onto her. Yeah,
the duplicate comes through, and this Bob is ready to go immediately. Just lets it loose and finishes off Dragon there. As Bob is standing in choke, just layering in damage. Muffin also falling there as well as they send Incendia back to spawn.
Demi is actually going to get taken down by the Dynamite right as that copy ends, and no one actually in the kill feed. But Disperse has just been absolutely popping off on this Echo.
Yeah, really the linchpin of the defense here, just layering in damage, and it's forced Incendia to swap compositions to try and mirror it, to just deal with Disperse, which, I mean, if it ain't working, you got to change it up, so commendable from Incendia, but they really are stuck on this first point count.
Adjusting angle of attack.
They really are. They were able to put an early stop to Fourth Dimension. Fourth Dimension push, but they need to get a good push of their own, and QS is going to get taken down by the mines, and there goes both supports for Incendia.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard to watch when we're watching a team who was as dominant as they were on the defense, having such a hard time getting through Fourth Dimension's defense. This is really expertly done by by Fourth Dimension to hold them off at the moment. And we're looking like maybe final fight here, Cal.
Definitely, and it's a show of strength to be able to go from, you know, we lost 2-0 on Busan to holding on first point for at least 3 minutes, if not more here. And that's a show of mental fortitude from Fourth Dimension and an old Fiesta.
Yeah, here we go. Everybody's pressing Q, but a really good demonstration for Fourth Dimension. Now Pix back in favor of Incendia here. Will maybe make something happen right at the death as Froki will fall here, but a duplicate onto the Orisa is proving brutal to deal with as Julo is on top of the attacking team. Pix coming in droves now for Fourth Dimension and 30 seconds on the clock.
I talked about mental, and it's gotta be tough for Incendia Esports now. They've been held here for 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and now they're gonna have to try and run in and touch this point. They have the ults to try and get this together, but you're going to have to wonder if they have the mental fortitude to.
Yep, well, here we go. The rally out from Fourth Dimension, nice and early, but NKZ will fall. Demi also finding a pick here as the Bob and Double Sigma is occupying the point here, and most of Fourth Dimension are forced back into this hotel room here. Braven, one of the last surviving members, will pick up Muffin there, and Disperse is still in the field, so anything can happen. Everlover will fall here, however, and that will be so difficult to clutch back, but Andre will pick up a kill themselves. Braven is still holding down the fort all the while, and the respawns are coming back now. The numbers, the overtime, it's going away, and Incendia just can't get there. Fourth Dimension bring the series 1-1.
That was incredible. The early pick on the two supports was just critical, because when you lose both your supports, you just have no healing. And when you have no healing, I'm just gonna shut up and let this Pulse Bomb talk from Fourth Dimension. Look at that. Just the Primal Rage takes down the Immortality Field, and Braven just comes in, gets that stick, and that's just that. But those late picks on the support, even when it looked like there was no hope for Fourth Dimension, taking down those small little picks, those picks on the support, that they make the difference.
Yep, they certainly do. We are tied here 1-1. We are going to a short break, but we're going to map 3 on the other side. We'll see you there. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and what a series we've had on our hands here, Cal. I mean, it has been back and forth non-stop. We've got Incendia versus Fourth Dimension, and both teams showing that they can clutch up when it matters most, Cal.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw Busan 2-0 for Incendia, and we thought, okay, well, that makes sense. You know, Incendia, they're the favorites. It wasn't a blowout by any means. But I mean, you know, it was kind of what we expected. We expected this to be close, but, you know, Incendia is going to edge it out. We get to King's Row. Fourth Dimension puts in a good attack. They get stopped before third point. We think, you know, that makes sense. You know, they do well, but, you know, they can't get to it by, you know, they can't get to the end of the third map. But then they just come out, they full hold. They full hold Incendia Esports, and that's such a momentum shift. For 4 minutes, Fourth Dimension held first point. They didn't give up a tick. That's incredible.
It's so impressive to see Fourth Dimension, after going a map down, the resilience to come back and full hold a team with as many accoladed players as Incendia have, with their Contenders Trials players, and a lot of experience under their belts, come in and just really give it to them, which is so impressive, which is giving us more Overwatch, which is what we love to see. We're headed to Rialto next, which means no draw will be available for that. But Fourth Dimension have actually looked better on the very little payload that we've seen than Incendia at the moment, Cal.
Yeah, I mean, if just looking at Incendia Esports, they have so many contenders players. They have Q-Best. They have 27. They have the month of 27. They have Eve. They have just so many of their players are in contenders and contenders trials, and the fact that Fourth Dimension is coming in and showing them up like they did, it's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. But let's not forget, Incendia looked really scary over on Busan. And Demi still bringing it, the main tank at the moment for Incendia, looking very, very good when they won on Busan 2-0. And that was some really good teamwork. So if Incendia want to clutch this back, they're going to have to try and rekindle some of that Busan magic and bring it over to Rialto.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about the mental fortitude from Fourth Dimension, and now the tables have turned and it's Incendia's time, because that's hard. Getting full held on any point like Incendia did, that's got to be tough on your mental. So it's going to show if Incendia Esports can keep it together mentally and keep it going. And like you said, rekindle that Busan magic.
Yeah, it's exactly the case of Incendia need to pick themselves up and dust themselves off as we go to Rialto. Fourth Dimension need to take the ball and run with it. They've got the momentum coming into this map, but it is all to play for in our best of 3 series here right now as we go to Rialto.
Absolutely, you said it. It's all or nothing right now. The winner of this map will go on, and of course the loser will drop down to the loser's bracket. We do have that double elimination, and see pretty close to an exact mirrors from these two teams. It's going to be purely who can play it better.
Yeah, and we've seen Disperse on this Echo look so dangerous on King's Row here, so you're gonna have to respect Disperse on this Echo, who led the charge on the defense for Fourth Dimension, as an early hold coming through from Demi. Wants to get onto Cart nice and early. The bubble comes a little late to let him stay there a little longer, as Disperse is feeling the heat now, will back out, but the battle for this high ground is well underway, as Dragon, a little bit under trouble here, will back out and hold payload. Fourth Dimension moving on up to this high ground and will fight. We also have a Star Wars-esque battle going on in the mega area, but Eve will get the better of Disperse there and likely slow down this attacking side.
Absolutely, that's what you need if you're Incendia to get rid of this pressure. But here comes the attack. Demi trying to stay on this high ground and keep it there.
Yeah, Demi's just posturing up, holding the offense on this high ground as Isaac will pick a pick, but Mr. Dragon also falling down as well. Pick a piece will favor the attacking side as Bravens found themselves in the backline on the high ground from up on high, and this pulse bomb is tantalizingly close. The Nano, however, onto Demi will take out Andre, and the numbers are just very, very thin. That being said, Fourth Dimension are not done yet, and the Nano onto NKZ is brutal as that beam just decimates the defense.
Absolutely, it's as brutal as that camera weirdness, but Fourth Dimension, they're able to just keep things going with and they have a lot of ultimates now. They're coming up on 5.
Yeah, but a bunch of ultimates to boot for Incendia as well. This Primal Rage can keep the stall going forever. The Stall King's Incendia will now push on to the point, but a Graviton Surge is out early, and NKZ picks up 2 just off the back of that. Some magic's going to have to happen from Incendia. Now the stick goes through onto Braven. Will find the kill there, and the Primal Rage is out in duplicate form now for Eve, trying to slow this down and deny this capture point, but it's all for naught as Eve will fall, and the point is capped up here.
Absolutely. And I feel like it was a little late on that ultimate. They were trying to stall out the point, of course, but sometimes you want to keep that ultimate for the defense. We'll have to see if that will be a sign of bad things to come for Incendia, but for now, they're going to hold on the staircase, which is a pretty brutal place to hold. There's not really any good ways to come at it.
Sure, well, Demi just wants to go at them instead, and NKZ just couldn't handle the heat as you will be sent back to spawn, and that's a pretty quick reset for Fourth Dimension. Nothing spent for them, and they're pretty happy to just take a moment, take a breather, and I'm sure Incendia are too.
I'm going to highlight a little micro play that Demi was able to get some jump pack damage onto Julo as he was leaping away, and so when he leapt into the water, he was able to get the kill credit and the ultimate charge for it. I'm not exactly sure if he had ult before, but if he didn't, he certainly does now, and he's ready to use that Primal Rage, but Mr. Dragon's not going to be alive to see it.
Yeah, he won't, but Demi finds Froakie here, and I would argue that that's the more valuable trade, getting rid of that Brigitte. Braven, however, with the stick and Disperse with the Primal Rage in the backline onto the opposing Brigitte, will find the kill. The Muffin falls, but a Nano Primal Rage onto Julo here. Forced away, though, is Demi as he's purple and so dangerously low. His payload's still moving, and Fourth Dimension in these scrappy fights are coming out on top.
They really are, and now not as many ultimates, but I think Fourth Dimension is going to have the advantage of it. Well, not if that happens and Mr. Dragon just pops a pulse bomb onto Andre.
Beautiful
Incredible.
stick from Dragon from on high there to thwart this defense coming in, but Fourth Dimension just pick 2 back. They say that's fine, you can kill 1, we'll just double it. They do so, and they're holding on, they're pushing their way through, and will keep this payload moving with a stick onto the back of Isaac and the Muffin finally falling. That's going to be point B capped up.
That was incredible play by... That was incredible play by Fourth Dimension. They were just able to get those picks, even without their main support. They were able to use the health that they had. We have a little bit of a lag spike, but they were able to use those picks, and they got what they needed. They got the picks.
Winston.
Yeah, they certainly did, and now Fourth Dimension are under the cooker pressure as the Primal Rage duplicate from Eve comes out. They want to find a pick with it, and they're trying to corner somebody out and disrupt, but a duplicate from Disperse might have other ideas as Q-Fest falls early early here. Julo finds their number, and Isaac is soon to follow. The Brigitte in the backline is in jeopardy, and Fourth Dimension have no intention of slowing this down.
Averting personality.
Yeah, Andre KO was able to get a double anti-nade onto both of the tanks of Incendia, and then Fourth Dimension were just able to melt them down, and it's just small plays like that that make Fourth Dimension such a good team.
Yeah, the nano onto NKZ, though no hanging around from them. The Primal Rage from Demi will come out to try and slow this down, and it just about lets Braven be exposed in that backline long enough for the focus to come through. Eve, however, will fall, but Isaac is now online and will go to town as NKZ finds himself in the opposing enemy spawn. Thanks to that Primal Rage from Demi, will just send him right out of position and will be finished off, and Incendia finally get a moment of respite.
That's the power of Primal Rage. It's able to not only deal damage, you see all those really fancy juggles, but it's able to just completely disrupt the enemy team and their positioning, and that's what Winston excels at, is disruption.
Yeah, and now the grab and the pulse bomb available for Incendia could stop this fight nice and early if they choose to do so, but a Graviton Surge out first from Fourth Dimension and doesn't press Q, but Raven with that stick and Julo getting involved as well. Now the focusing beam to boot onto Muffin. This is disaster. Only a minute on the clock available, so the stall is here. Eve will fall immediately and nobody touches from Incendia. Fourth Dimension with just a minute under the clock will cap up Rialto.
That's absolutely critical that Fourth Dimension were able to get to the end of Point C. They were able to finish the map, which means critically, Incendia Esports, the heat is still on them. They still have the pressure. They need to finish the map or it's all over for them.
Yep, and you can see Disperse is back on this Echo as well, which is just going to be such a nightmare for Incendia to clean up and get a grips onto. Is so prudent on King's Row. So hopefully they've had a moment during the map swaps and the break to deal with that. But if not, Disperse is quite the adversary, Cal.
That he is, and Eve is going to try and be on the McCree. Well, not anymore. Going to be on the duo Echo, but Fourth Dimension is now on the dive, on that Eva Ball dive. A bit of a different style of dive from the double bubble, but we'll see if it's going to be better for them.
Yeah, and Demi just posturing up on this high ground, trying to get a little bit of early damage in, try and get some pressure up onto it here. Trying to gain that map control, which this composition desperately needs to operate correctly, is everybody just posturing up. Spots Braven in the back though, does Eve, and sends them packing as well. Forces the recall now, sends Braven back to the bulk of the team as Demi can just push forward now. Dragon in the backline on the high ground, and each Tracer finding themselves in very wacky and weird positions this game so far. No casualties as of yet, however, but Denny wants to get stuck in, has that Discord lapped on top of him. He will go down to dangerously low levels of HP, gets out with a sliver as the Muffin picks up a kill, with Denny not long to follow here. The post bomb as well from Braven takes out Muffin and stops this attack in its tracks.
Absolutely. Braven and Disperse have just been a dynamic and deadly duo. It feels like whenever Incendia Esports kinda counters one, the other decides that it's their time to pop off.
Yeah. Disperse again has this duplicate ready to go. This is a frightening sight if you're Incendia Esports, who have opted to go the coastline route, the scenic route around Rialto, trying to get some of that map control back that they so desperately need in this composition. The Brigitte caught out a little of sorts here as Demi goes in with that nano, and the duplicate as well on the top. A wonderful anti-nade to disrupt this Transcendence. Doesn't net Incendia any kills, but the damage onto Isaac will finish him off, and as much as Fourth Dimension are holding on to this. Anything could happen at the moment, but with Froki taking out Eve and with NKZ taking out Dragons, it's going to be all she wrote for this fight. And 1:30 left on the clock.
Yeah, now Incendia, they're probably having deja vu. They're having flashbacks to King's Row. They're gonna say, are we gonna get full health again? That's not how they want this to end. They did so well on Busan, and they cannot have it end like this to 4th Dimension.
Could be the way it goes, though. Julo having a little duel in the back line here with Mr. Dragon, who finds himself a little low and is forced to back. Julo uses those adaptive shields and will fall, but Muffin taken out by the Zenyatta in the backline. Andre having a field day over there, uncontested and in form, as Eve also falls as well. Dragon forced to run away with his tail tucked between his legs, as this will be final fight, Cal.
It will be, but look at all those ultimates on the side of Incendia. If they can't win this with the Graviton, the Pulse Bomb, the Copy, the Nano, with the Zenyatta not pretty close to ult, they need to get going here, but here's... Oh, the Pulse Bomb's already eaten.
Oh, the Pulse Bomb goes, and Dragon doesn't have a paddle here, looking pretty bad. Disperse will get slapped in the backline, however. No rally for that duplicate there, as the self-destruct is lapped over the top as well from NKZ. Picks up Muffin, but the minefield will take out Froki as well. They picks up back and forth. The pendulum keeps on swinging, as it's absolute and utter chaos here. It's stall time for 4th Dimension to see if they can make the magic happen, as Braven is going to town on Isaac, who is so very low. Will get the pick, and Q-Best falls as well. The overtime is right here, right now. Julo takes him out. The overtime is ticking down. The rally will come out in desperation from Muffin, and it's just Mr. Dragon and themselves on the point. They will fall, and now the Echo is here as well, as Dragon picks up a kill of their own. Eve will fall to Brazen, however, and Disperse picks one up. 4th Dimension transcend reality and will win this best of 3 right here, right now.
Absolutely. I think none of us were expecting this. 4th Dimension, we said that they were the underdogs coming in, as we see Demi on this Winston. A delight to see the entire time, but regardless, not going to be able to pick up that win. Going to get reverse swept, and incredible play by 4th Dimension. They were able to pick up the win.
Yeah, I mean, Disperse looking so strong on that Echo was absolutely devastating for the defense. So they will progress through the bracket, and Incendia will go down to our losers bracket as we head to our next game. And it is the big ticket item, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. It's the money match. It's Shoes Money Crew versus 5th Dimension. This is, Shoes Money Crew, the reason that we're here in the Will English IVitational, number 2, of course, in the EU division. It's the reason why we're here, and we're going to see them face off against 5th Dimension, an open division team facing off against Shoes Money Crew. 5th Dimension is definitely going to be the underdog going into that, but if we've learned anything from this match, it's that you can't count out the underdog. So watch it and see Shoes Money Crew.
Yes, 100%. 4th Dimension did it, but can 5th Dimension do it? We're going to go to a small break here, so make sure you stick around for the Pierre de Resistance, the game coming up next. We'll see you there.
with the tangible. We get lost in the virtual. You less alone when you're logging on. If you're coming over, I just wanna be real with somebody. Somebody like me. If I tell you how I'm feeling, would you say that you want me? That you want me? 'Cause I'm so sick of all the noise, all the back and forth. Just wanna find a still place where I could go. I lose myself, I cannot help it, I'm emotional. Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? Please let me know. They're calling us in. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Nah, pretty good, dude. I mean, we saw some quality Overwatch being played. We saw a variety of compositions, and I'm assuming that is going to keep on going as we head through this bracket. But, I mean, if we're looking for an expert in the bracket, we have got the person themselves here to do it. It's Ocean. I mean, you are very close to a lot of these teams, so you've got some good insider knowledge, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And, you know, a lot of people who might not be as privy to the scene might just be looking at this and saying, I don't recognize Fifth Dimension, but I recognize Shoes Money Screw, so this is going to be a blowout. But you would be certainly surprised at the talent coming out of OD and Trials at the moment. This may be a lot closer than you might believe, right? Yeah, it might not be the case at all, but I'm certainly excited to see some talent coming up on in here. I'm so hyped and I'm ready to go.
Whoops.
Absolutely.
Well,
I
either
agree.
way, I'm just gonna just jump in real quick. This is excellent analysis, but I just want to tell everybody, like I was muted earlier, but I'm just gonna introduce myself, and you two can do your professional thing. You go, no, this is great. I love the energy. It's just like just going off to the races and giving us all the information. But again, it's an honor to have both of you here. And again, I know you guys all been waiting for Shoes Money Crew to come on the stream. So thank you to Nate's. If without Nate's from Shoes Money Crew, I'll say it as many times as I'm blue into the face, it wouldn't be possible here today. So thank you all so much, all you crazy Overwatch fans from across the pond that's watching this match right now. But we're gonna let you get back into the match here. Ocean and Simbabble, please take us away.
Yeah, I mean, like I just said, so excited to be here to not only watch some quality Overwatch, but to be casting it as well. I mean, realistically, though, Ocean, do we see SMC just winning the whole thing? Is there any team that you think from the inside could upset? Yeah. Mm, mm. Yeah, and I mean, you know, a team with that kind of accolade under your belt, you're going to be coming into a tournament like this feeling pretty good about yourselves. That could work against them. They might be sleeping on a couple of these teams. There might be a case that they're coming in, they're feeling good, so they're going to play some really good Overwatch, or they could be looking at this as a free tournament run, and that could be their undoing in these like early matches where they don't quite realize the potential of the competition, right? Yeah.
Hey, Ocean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the stream cannot hear you because there's some production issues we're gonna work. So we're gonna go to a quick break and fix that so they can hear your lovely voice. I am so sorry. I'm embarrassing you. So let me give me one sec. We'll be right back, folks. Give me one more sec.
At the end of the world, where will we be? Immortality is calling. Speak our names forever. Eclipse the world together. Gonna build an empire. Build an empire. Take the world by fire. Gonna build an empire. This is what we've been waiting for. They don't know we've been keeping score. This is our destiny. Can you hear the calling? At the end of the world, where will we be? Immortal.
And welcome back to the Little English Invitational. Now, Ocean, can you just speak up for one sec? All right. I think so. No, you're still muted. You're still muted. I'm sorry. Well, let's work with us, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a production issue here. We're just trying to see if we can fix it.
That's some of that NA production coming over to EU, I see, Will.
I know. I was gonna make a mistake at some point this morning on no sleep, but here it is. I've made the mistake. So we're gonna just do this live so we can make sure that this is all set before we get into the action here. And I know people are waiting for us to get into this match, but I'm so sorry. Like this is just the nature of the beast.
It is indeed, and it's all part of the plan. Actually, it was completely planned to sort of build some hype around this game. That's what it was.
Yes.
It's just making sure that everyone's
The
here.
chat was trying to lip read you, Ocean. That was the height of the excitement in the chat. Nope, still muted. All right, I'm gonna try this one more time. I'll be right back.
Is calling. Speak our names forever. Eclipse the world together. Gonna build an empire. Gonna build an empire. Gonna take the world by fire. Gonna build an empire. An empire. An empire.
1. Okay, Ocean, speak up. No. No. No, that's... Nope. Okay. Okay, yeah, so one more time. Sorry about that.
We could go anywhere. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon. We could be any place. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon. Makes your head spin. Pretty as a new star. Take it in. Some kind of magic. Dizzy as a new dawn to begin. Every road that we followed had to hold on just so we could let go. And the night goes on so we could know what the light feels like when it comes up. I got a fever and it's breaking. Oh, we found a way, oh, true believer. Yeah, we're waking up. We found a way, oh. We found a way, oh.
1. And will the NA production help me? No? No, it's not. Oh, that's right. That's right. So we're back. Ocean, can you speak?
Yeah, how are we going, gamers? How are we going?
Okay, that was a little bit loud. All right. Simbabble, can you speak?
Hi guys, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Alright.
Hey!
King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Anyway, so back to where we started. So let's just rewind time back 25 minutes in here. And I'll just start off by saying hello and welcome to the Willingness Invitational. We have a new caster, Ocean, and coming in to do this match for Sims Money Crew, or Shoes Money Crew, and fifth dimension. We have fourth dimension. So I see this is NA production, ladies and gentlemen. Just roll the punches. Either way, I'm gonna get out of the way because I'm just gonna cross my fingers that it's all working right now, and I'm just gonna keep my wits about me. So I'll talk to you all soon.
Yes, wonderful to be here. I mean, Ocean, you gave us a pretty concise conclusion to both these teams. So do you want to go for it for the fourth or fifth time now?
Maybe the sixth, actually. I mean, maybe this is just the fifth dimension of commentary, right? Anyways, Shoes Buddy Crew, of course, just finished third in European contenders. 5D, of course, one of the top OD teams. I would probably label them probably top 6, top 8 in OD right now. I think they're a really, really strong team. Got some really, really strong players in particular. So this matchup, you'd expect, Shoes Money Crew, Friday contenders come in and absolutely roll. But I don't think the gap in EU is honestly that big. You have like those top 6 contenders teams, and then you got trials, and then you got top OD. But I think the gap between top OD and like the lowest of contenders is honestly not that big, right? I feel like a lot of these teams will scrum each other and get pretty mixed results. And I feel like that's how the EU scene is right now. So 5G, SMC, I expect this to be a little bit closer than some others might think.
Yeah, and I was also saying the only thing that could possibly be SMC's downfall might be the fact that they are such a prominent team in contenders at the moment, and they've come into this invitational tournament thinking that it's going to be a breeze when it might not be. So they might not actually be going into it 100%. They might be thinking that this is a lot easier than it potentially could be. So that might be a way that Fifth Dimension nick a map here or there and maybe find them slipping. But, I mean, they are a very formidable opponent.
Yeah, and one thing that is really interesting for me here is I want to see SMC come into this and go, this is why we finished third place in EU contenders, right? I want to see them prove a point to everyone here that this is the gap between top OD and contenders. If you want to be at our level, come to our level, right? I want to see Danid making these plays. I don't want to see SMC, just play consistently. I want them to go at this and attempt to bloody roll Fifth Dimension. Yeah. If I don't see a roll here for SMC, I'll be disappointed in them. But Fifth Dimension, they've got this opportunity, not just as a team, but individual players to prove that they belong at a higher level, right? They've got this opportunity to express themselves. If you beat SMC in a tournament, that word spreads quickly. So, Fifth Dimension, you've got a really good chance here.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is that it's Shoes' game to lose, right? They are expected to come in here and win. So if they do drop a map, there is a lot at stake for them to clutch it back quickly and not really show any weaknesses against a team that is ultimately a division below them, albeit very closely in those divisions. They still have something to prove. So Fifth Dimension don't really have much pressure on them right now. And if they can make a really good showing, they're still going to look really good. So actually, SMC do have a lot to show in the fact that they deserve to be where they are. So this is a super, super interesting game as far as the mental is concerned, Ocean.
Yeah, I'm worried or wondering, about Fifth Dimension's attitude going to this. Is it, we're playing against SMC, we're obviously going to lose. Let's make a loser bracket run. Or is it, let's show everyone what we got. You obviously want to have the second one. However, I could kind of see other teams having the other mindset of let's make a losers bracket run and looking away from this game. But realistically, for the individuals on this team, if you have a good showing here, you might get a contenders call up. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well. There are a lot of eyes on this game because of the prevalence that SMC have. They are just going to naturally draw in some people to watch. Some people might have some sway on some teams. So it really is the opportunity for these players in, these OD teams, these contenders trials teams to really make a good showing, and who knows who's watching. So you're absolutely right. If they come into it with the idea that they're going to make a losers bracket run, I don't know that that reflects all that well on them. And I don't think that's what they would have come into it with, but there is potential for that, for them to just go, look, it's a GG go next. It's fine, but we'll do the losers bracket run. But even if they don't win the series, you would hope that they're coming into it and saying, we're going to make some really big plays. We're going to do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what that's like on the opening map, because I think that's where we're going to get the biggest taste of that, because Control is one of those game modes, right, where it's very, very open, and you're going to see players making plays to try and create some space, try and make the main tank duel difficult, try and make life a living hell for your opposition. And that's what this first map is going to show, what both teams' attitude for this tournament is going to go here, right? 5T, do they want to express themselves? SMC, are they just here for an easy first place, or do they want to show that they're a top 3 team in Europe, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
And I'm all for it. I cannot wait to get into this game. We are nearly ready to jump in. We are heading to Ilios first, and that is going to be, like you've already said, an interesting map where a lot of their hands are going to be dealt, really. We're going to see, is SMC coming in here to stomp? Is Fifth Dimension coming in here to give a really good showing? And that's going to be the place that they're going to do it. Initially, it will be Ilios.
What's going to be interesting to me now, right, is are we going to see Brawl mirror matchups? Are we going to see double bubble mirror matchups? What are we going to see? Are we going to see Fifth Dimension try something a little bit different, something a little bit more unique, try and catch SMC off? Or maybe are we going to see them pull it like a defensive Sombra playstyle to try and counteract Danit, who's a very aggressive DPS player? There's a lot of options here to what we can see. Are we going to see a mirror? I'm not sure. And this is why Control is such an interesting start, because it's so unique to all the other game modes, right? It's a little bit more chaotic. You have to make plays if you want to win. And obviously, it can change at any moment. The switch can flip, and all of a sudden, it's 99.99, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. This first map is going to be really interesting for both sides.
Yeah, and then we go over to Eichenwald, and you are looking at these double bubble compositions more than likely come out. But for now, we are heading to Ilios, and we've got the well to start us off. Both teams looking like they're opting for a brawl, Ocean.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the mirror matchup here, right? Because then we get to see, who's willing to make plays on either team. I'm really going to be looking at Spee and Killer probably. When I'm looking at this matchup, I want to see which of the McCrees puts the opposing Reinhardts under pressure. That's going to be extremely interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Shoes Money Crew running out without the Doomfist. So Daned wants to get in here with the Doomfist, pardon me, goes straight in for that punch, and all of a sudden Chase is forced out and under pressure. The Immortality Field out very, very early as Daned is just in the midst of the battle here. Up in their faces, and SMC looking so very good here as they will pick up 2 picks, and that is pretty much over as soon as it started. And Daned really was the spearhead of that attack.
Yeah, we're going to see the Doomfist variant of the brawl here. No May for Danit, of course. This means they're going to be playing a lot faster, and it means they have to play a lot faster. Because if Danit overcommits and doesn't have cooldowns, and they're not here to back that up, Danit's dead, and it's a 5v6, and that's not what you want. But it's good to see Shoes Money Crew starting off strong, taking the fight to Fifth Dimension, and making sure that they're playing fast. They're here to win.
Yeah, but Fifth Dimension, it's their turn to push now, but a flashbang will end Chase sooner than he could blink here. The Immortality Field and the Shatter will come down. Alex will be back to spawn, and SMC are really here to show up. My word.
Oh no, the Deadeye in spawn, that's just ruined from Speed. Go with it as well, and they get the D-Mech.
Yeah, that is brutal, really stuffing them into their own spawn there. SMC showing that they're not here to mess around. Chase, however, will catch Daned unawares and pick him off as Chaos goes for a reset as well. As the fight will break out on the point here. Fifth Dimension will get caught out here. Speed with another flashbang being so deadly, but Killer wants to get their time in the sun as well. Finds the Deadeye, kills Johnny as the shatter comes down from Chase. The Immortality Field, however, will keep everyone who got shattered up for now. However, Danit is back and kicking and wants to do some damage. Finally, Fifth Dimension looking like they're showing some signs of life here on the point, as Danit is going to get forced out here, and the stall is just coming through. Alex is on the point, but it's only going to be a matter of time.
It's already flipped in favor of Fifth Dimension here, and I like the fact they've gone to the Doomfist. They're taking the duel. They want to rush, and they want to mirror this matchup.
Yeah, Sobek takes out Hades there with an environmental kill, and Killer taking out Sab as well. SMC milking all over the shop as a double self-destruct from Chaos closes this fight out. And like you said, the flip was earlier on in the fight, so Shoes Money Crew were just wasting time the point until that. That was a really good showing from the underdogs.
Yeah, and this means, right, we've got the mirror matchup we wanted to see. We've got both teams taking it to each other. I think a lot of this is going to be about who engages first, who uses those ultimates, who's got that more convincing fight plan. Is it going to be an up-speed Deadeye, or is it going to be a hard Doomfist engagement? Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, and I think that lost fight came from that aggressive Deadeye from SMC. They're a little overzealous, and it got them punished. I mean, the flip came through early, but now 5th Dimension with his amplification matrix on top. The Shatter not coming down here just yet, but picks in favor of 5th Dimension as the Meteor Strike will come down, and the Doomfist for 5th Dimension is cleaning up house, now 75% on the point.
Yeah, next fight's gonna be super interesting though, because 5th Dimension, or sorry, Shoes Money Crew, look at this, right? Both support ultimates online and Earth Shatter as well. I'm not gonna really pay attention to this. You look at 5th Dimension's ultimates, what do you really got to even get into this next fight, or even start an engagement? This has gotta be Shoes Money Crew's fight to win, and they have to take it with both arms.
Yeah, just a Shatter and an Amplification Matrix to work with here. Boots with the beats as well, and Hades just posturing up, trying to pick their moment as Danid goes for that punch to deal with Chaos here in the Shatter. Lapped down, enormous, finds 3, and Hades will cleave into this small room. Never back him into a corner like that, or we will have his field day. And that is a beautiful flip coming through for Shoes.
Yeah, that was Shoes Money Crew's fight to win. They do win that fight, and they do hold the sound barrier as well. The problem now is 5th Dimension, now at 99%. It's last fight territory, and both teams have sound barrier. It's going to be very even. I don't know who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, well, Alex picking up a Doomfist kill right at the beginning of this fight surely seals the deal for Shoes Money Crew here as Hades goes to town as well and finds a pick. Also taking out that baby Diva as the picks are plenty for Shoes Money Crew. They're making it rain and they're bringing the pain. They win well on Ilios.
Yeah, but it was a lot more difficult for them than they probably expected, right? You know, 5th Dimension, after they catch Danid out on that overextension, after the previous team fight where we saw the outspeed Deadeye coming in from Shoes Money Crew, right? They actually did punish Shoes Money Crew. They came in, got to 99%, they used their ultimates well, and not only did they do that, they challenged them, right? They saw that Shoes Money Crew come up with the Doomfist variant. They're also going to go for the Doomfist variant. They want to challenge Shoes Money Crew. They want to prove that they're better than everyone thinks. They want to prove that the gap between top OD and contenders is not that much. And I think they're definitely bringing a really strong case.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, it wasn't 100-0, right? And we're seeing the same compositions come out from both sides again. I mean, 5th Dimension played it really well. They brought it to Shoes Money Crew. And it's going to be interesting here with a slightly different map geography if there's anything special that 5D have. The Shoes Money Crew are getting stuck in nice and early and putting Chase on this back foot, forcing them back. Alex also under a little bit of pressure there, but Daned taking out Killer straight away is disaster for 5th Dimension here as Speed will pick one up as well. Hades getting their time in the sun also, and Speed just fanning that hammer, and that was pretty convincing in that first fight.
Honestly, a lot of the problems for 5th Dimension here is it's always Danid taking the initiative. It's always a Shoes Money Crew player taking the initiative. They maybe need to be a little bit more try and get the Shoes Money Crew engagement. Maybe we'll fix from now.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Danid really has been the spearhead for now. The Shatter will come through for Hades. Doesn't find anything and will get flashbacks and taken very low. But Shoes Money Crew still on top at the moment as Speed is still on the field. The Doomfist, however, from 5th Dimension going to town once more. Picks back and forth, and the High Noon from Speed seals the deal as the stagger kill will come through. The flip did come through for a second there, though, Ocean.
Yeah, that is pretty good because that means that 7% that we got, or maybe probably about 15% with the time it takes to capture, isn't going to go for the Shoes Money Crew. That's probably another fight difference, you know? So having another fight is going to be nice. However, looking at the support all different here. In favor of Shoes Money Crew, however, Danid is down.
Well, there we go. Danid goes down, but the Diva Bomb over the top. But then an even better one from Chaos has found another double kill with the self-destruct. Killer now going in over the top as well as it's just Hades on the point. He can struggle all he wants, but the flip is through, and another excellent Diva Bomb from Chaos wins that for 5th Dimension.
And even better for Fifth Dimension here is this is probably going to be a long, difficult fight, right? Both teams don't have many win conditions online. Both Meteor Strike and Soundfire. That's really it for this next fight. This is going to be a long fight, which means the longer the fight goes on, the more percentage they gain.
Yeah, you say that, but Danid getting right in the thick of it straight away. Sap will fall, however, early on. No Batista's going to be very minimal healing. Chaos picking up a pick of their own as well, and Ilp as well. Going to town. Alex just goes for the reset. They know that they've lost that fight.
Yeah, they managed to keep their sound barrier though, right? And that's the difference at this next point. That sound barrier that Johnny has held onto, that's going to have to be the key that unlocks this Fifth Dimension hold on Ruins. They have a Meteor Strike to play with, so maybe they can play aggressive and go for a pick in the backline. Maybe that's what the Holy Pig has to do.
Yeah, well, Amplification Matrix out now from Ilp, and it is just zoning out at the moment. Not really doing a whole lot of much, but Daned has his number hat again there. As a Julie Shatter comes down, it doesn't find anything from Hades there, but he will get the better of Chase, who did block that Shatter, and the self-destruct from Chaos this time is not to be the double, and the picks are through for SMC and plenty. I knew from Killer will come out and find a whole lot of nothing, as Alex wants to have a go at the self-destruct. We'll pick up the Baptiste as Killer finds Alex there, but the flip is through for Shoes Money Crew.
I think the main difference we're actually seeing from Shoes Money Crew and Fifth Dimension is just a little bit more assertive from Shoes Money Crew. When they see an engagement, they'll take an engagement. When they have a fight plan or an idea, they go for that idea. The executionists on plans and ideas for Fifth Dimension will be a little bit sharper if they're going to take with the Shoes.
Could be an Shatter online for Chase, more or less here. He's got to get involved if he wants to find it. And we're in final fight territory. The high neutral speed will find the second kill that Dan had found to initiate this fight. It's going to send Fifth Dimension packing quickly as they can. But Chase is down to the Shatter there. It's beautifully done. And SMC, it's going to be a struggle for anyone for Fifth Dimension to touch now.
Well, we're going to see Arlington Pig on the Doofus try and get around the back, but I don't think they're going to get it. It's going to be a struggle here. They have a touch, but can they make use of it?
Well, at the moment, Sobek is in a world of hurt, will fall down here, and the Chase is on this Wrecking Ball. Going to try and stall this out a little longer, but with not much to work with ultimate-wise. They're going to have to go for this touch and keep this alive, as the Moira will fall as well. SMC just on cleaning duty now. They've got the mop, and they want to stop it right now. A beautiful Shatter to close that out, and SMC will win Ilios.
Yeah, honestly, pretty good map from both teams. Shoes Money Crew showing that they're here to win, showing that they're here to make plays. They're here to show that they're dominant, right? You know, we saw that with Damage trying to play a little bit more aggressive. You got Alex throwing in some early self-destruct. And I think that's the difference between the two teams, right? You got one team playing a little bit more assertive, a little bit more confident. Fifth Dimension, they know that they have to play up to SMC, and that might make things a little bit more difficult for them, right? When it comes to SMC there, good start for them. They'll be feeling a little, still be feeling comfortable right now. Fifth Dimension, though, pretty good showing from them.
Yeah, I think so. Coming out, I mean, they're gonna have some nerve coming up against SMC in their first game or their second game of this tournament. So they know that they've got a really formidable opponent coming into this. So that might have just been first game jitters, but even so, we saw some awesome plays coming out from Fifth Dimension. I mean, Chaos with those self-destructs are insane. They were so good, and there were some real shining moments from them that look like this is not going to be a one and done sort of thing for Shoes Money Crew, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, when Fifth Dimension are making plays, they're getting value out of them, right? Chaos, as you mentioned, with those self-destructors being really good. I want to see them get a little bit more value out of things like Doomfist engagements and application matrices. If they can be assertive with those and commit to those sort of win conditions that maybe get picked, that make the fight a little bit easier for them, they'll be definitely in a shot of winning a map, or at least surprising Shoes Money Crew getting close. I think SMC comfortably on top right now, however, Fifth Dimension, they're definitely up to the task.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I mean, we talk about it a lot in pro play where you've got control maps and they can sort of tell an incorrect narrative sometimes where the worst team will win it, or in a series, if you lose that, you sort of go, it doesn't even matter, it's control, we're just moving on to the next map. That may not be the case here, but it's certainly going to help Fifth Dimension keep on holding that morale as they go into the next map.
Honestly, like, you know, usually control maps are a little bit more chaotic, and they can flip they can switch one fight, and then maybe you've choked a round already, right? So control is a little bit of an outlier when it comes to game modes, but that was a pretty traditional map from what we've seen. So I think we'll expect more of the same as we move on to Eichenwald.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could be. And SMC are looking dominant, do not get me wrong. But this is where, you know, we might see some upsets. If we get both teams finishing Eichenwald, you might see those overtime pushes, those dramatic scenes happening in Eichenwald right now. And do you think we're going to see the double bubble come out for Eichenwald? Or do you think the brawl is just so good that we're probably going to see both teams brawl?
I'm not so sure, right? I feel like Brawl and Double Bubble are both pretty viable here. And I feel like for Dimension, they'll probably stay Brawl because they're comfortable against Shoes Money Crew with this matchup. You know what I mean? You're playing Brawl against playing Brawl against Shoes Money Crew, and you're getting some pretty alright results, right? You're probably going to want to stay on that and keep that sort of consistency going. Shoes Money Crew, they have a little bit more freedom to work.
Yeah, I think that for sure. Potentially on the defense, you see more of the double bubble. Maybe Shoes Money Crew want to try and treat this like a scrim, and they might try and pull something wacky out. Who knows? I mean, we are ready to drop into Eichenwald. We are right here, right now. And from what we can see, it looks like both teams going for the brawl.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we expected in Fifth Dimension. I don't think they were really ever considering changes. I wonder what Danon's going to do, because they're on the defense here, and it's going to be hard to really get any aggressive or abrasive Doomfist engagements here on the defense. I wonder if they're going to go over to the 9 and play a typical, let's be patient, wait for a pick style. I don't think that Genji's right, but no. So, ignore everything I've said.
Yeah, we would have loved to see it though. Imagine the Genji brawl coming out with Danid on the Genji. That would have been something.
I don't really know if I want to imagine that. Sure, it would have been interesting.
It would have been interesting to say the least, and that's a caster's way of saying it's weird and wonderful. Right, yeah, the Doomfist for both teams here. No Mei to be seen, as that does seem to be the default now for these brawl compositions. Chase just gets chunked down immediately. Speed will be taken out, however, pretty early on. Those Doomfist rollouts that you were talking about earlier, Ocean, coming in handy, but the D-Max will come through for Hades, and without the D.Va to push, you're probably going to slow this down.
Yeah, this is just getting a little bit nasty. Both Doomfish just waiting for a chance to punch.
Yep, well, there we go. No more waiting around. Danid finds that baby D.Va, but the Shadow's already online. Shoes Money Crew want to finish this off right here, right now, and Speed, Danid, and Sab all pick up their fair share of kills.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a weird one, right? Both Doomfist engagements didn't really get much. The fight just slowed down as both teams just waited for that opportunity. Shoes Money Crew find that opportunity first and took full advantage.
Yeah, Ultimate's full 5th Dimension now. They do have the Shatter advantage, and not much to speak of from Shoes Money Crew, but Danid's not hanging around. He wants to get involved nice and early, as it seems though Sab forced to use an Vitality Field on himself, caught in a little bit of a bad space. A wonderful right clip will finish off Danid, and the Shatter will come through from Chase there. Doesn't find them all that much, but the damage is surely done now. 5th Dimension with picks in pocket. Speed is doing their best from SMC, but that is going to be all she wrote, with just Hades remaining from Shoes Money Crew. A pretty formidable push from the underdogs here. Hades clapping it back though, and Danid kills the other support and flips it on its head when it all looked dead and buried. The Meteor Strike coming in as well to stall for time. Hades will fall eventually, however, and the touch is coming through from SMC. They want to hold on to this right here, right now. The beat comes down, self-destruct over the top from 5th Dimension to finish this off just in a second, as Danid is back in the fight as well. Alex will fall, and Danid is bested as well. So much invested from Shoes Money Crew, and they end up with nothing.
Honestly, I think that contest is still perfect. Maybe you got like 40 seconds off the clock, I think that was. And you, honestly, look at 5th Dimension's ultimates, right? 0 online for the next fight. I think that contest is worth it. And that's what you get when you have a player like Danid on your team. You can just get one of those miraculous kills coming back from spawn, and wow, this fight is suddenly winnable. Or we suddenly got value out of a fight that we really shouldn't have. And this is looking okay, right? 3 minutes and 50 seconds is pretty difficult for Point B Eichenwald, as Shoes Money Crew look to engage early on.
Oh, well, the Shadow comes down, but it is blocked up by Chase, who is so very low. Again, been under constant pressure. This entire series has the opposing Reinhardt here as the Doomfist and the McCree for 5th Dimension will fall. No damage dealers for them. Surely SMC are going to hold on to this payload now and have secured their spot on top of this castle.
Yeah, just going to back out of that one. Wanted to go to with the Thunder. Actually, Shoes Money Crew, they want to do it now because this is a joke, right? It's hard for 5th Dimension here to get out of this one. That's why Shoes Money Crew are so invested in this engagement.
Yeah, I mean, Ultimate's being forced out as well, and Danid finds a pick. Hades will fall, but there's still numbers for SMT to take this fight right here if they want to, and they're forcing Ultimates out of the attacking team. Time is being wasted, and SMC are winning fights at the spawn door. It's a massacre here, and Spee is the spearhead at the moment.
I feel like Shoes Money Crew now know they don't have the resources to take that fight. However, what they do is make sure that Chaos has to reset a little bit. They're going to be a little slower push to 5th Dimension. They don't quite have that back, and they're going to use the advantage for that. And they're going to go right in.
Yeah, lap down the shatter, and the damage is right there in front of you on your screens right now. SMC have warmed up, and they are feeling themselves during this icon roll right now. A late kill onto Chase, and now their Lucio is stuck so back in the castle with all of Shoes Money Crew. This is kind of brutal now.
Oh, we're gonna go for the spawn cap. They have the sound barrier to invest here if they really want to. Dana wants to go straight onto that team.
Yeah, Chaos is in trouble. The feet comes down, but it doesn't hit Dana, and he will fall here as the Meteor Strike is now right on top of Spee. Perhaps a slightly overconfident again from Shoes Money Crew, who are the dominant team at the moment, but certainly looking like the spawn trap plays are only sort of paying off at the moment. 5th Dimension now do have control of the payload.
Well, we'll wait and see if this works out for Shoes Money Crew, right? If we see 5th Dimension cap the map, then we'll think, oh, the spawn cannons, they really didn't work out. But look at the time bank, right? And a pick on OP that's going to make it even worse. His speed just pops off. What's going on here?
No, Speed finally gets taken out there, but he's done so much damage and is going to slow down this payload to no end as Hades also finds a pick themselves. Sam finishing off the Doomfist to 5th Dimension as well. And they have control of the payload again, Ocean. They have no business doing this.
Yeah, I feel like just to reiterate the further point, you know, every single aggressive engagement they're taking here, it's just time off the clock. As Hades goes for a slam, doesn't quite get much. The Immortality field will protect 5D, and Shoes Money Crew will have to back off and maybe wait for that Deadeye.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're wasting time, and the Deadeye through the Amplification Matrix is so devastating. Just picks in droves for SMC here as they are once again giving 5th Dimension a noogie in their own spawn. This is brutal.
Yeah, 5th Dimension though, positives for them. They've got some ultimates going into this next fight, and Shoes Money Crew have previously made a mistake at these spawn doors, and now this is the chance for 5th Dimension to get rid of this one.
Yeah, high noon coming out from Killer here, and it has to net them something right. They have to get out, and it does. Danage will fall. The Immortality comes down as well, and Johnny gets caught also by the shadow of Chase as now they're starting to clip the wings of SMC, but Hades goes for the counter pin to find the kill onto Chase here, as it will not really matter all that much. The payload finally in possession of 5th Dimension, but it is overtime right here, right now, Ocean.
Yeah, Shoes Money Crew just needs to win one more fight on point B, and it'll be a point B pull. But 5th Dimension, they'll be feeling pretty confident. They've got control of this high ground. They can play extra aggressive. Their Doomfist to try and find a pick because they've got that Meteor Strike and potentially a sound barrier later on. A little bit more leeway for 5th Dimension than we might think.
Yeah, certainly, but not with a shadow like that. It knocks 5 on their backs. Hades establishes the MTD and goes to town on 5th Dimension, stopping the payload where it stands. An unbelievably heroic play from the main tank of Shoes Money Crew, and they hold on to the payload on this bridge.
I feel like we're seeing a little bit of a repeat of what happened on Ilios, right? Where it's all Shoes Money Crew making the play. When they see an opportunity, they take that opportunity, right? With whatever creative engagement that they can come up with, right? Because they've got that natural shot-calling instinct of playing at the highest level and realizing these opportunities when they're there. Because obviously when you're playing teams like British Hurricane, those opportunities are going to be limited, right? 5th Dimension, of course, making a little more of those micro errors that open up Shoes Money Crew. Whereas when 5th Dimension see an opportunity, they don't quite go for it. They seem to hesitate. I feel like that, again, is still the difference between these two teams. However, 5th Dimension giving a fight, but also Shoes Money Crew showing their class in this map so far.
Yeah, it really is seeming that way. I mean, there's just some serious heroics coming up from SMC. I mean, Daned is always looking to open up the fight, and if not, it's Spee. Otherwise, Hades is finding some form of pressure onto Chase, which is making Fifth Dimension's main tank really struggle to find anything right here. But Shoes Money Crew going with an interesting composition here, Ocean.
Speed's just going to go with the damage boost out of spawn, and Dana's just going to wait to points until their team's ready. I wonder what's going to get. Actually, yeah, they'll be able to stay up here and go for another engagement soon when the team's ready to go. And I think it's go time right now.
Yeah, that is the go button as Daned will punch in just like Daned do. A beautiful pin onto Chase. Does put Hades in a spot of bother, and he will be taken out there a little too far forward for anyone else's liking. And SMC gonna have to go back and rethink because D-Knight is through as well. Spee caught in a spot of bother will get out, however, only just. The Sab picks up a late kill here. That could be the difference maker for this retake.
Yeah, that Lucio being gone, which means that this engagement from Shoes Money Crew is a little bit more free. Fifth Dimension can't get them on rotation, and that has already punished them for that.
That was unbelievable. I mean, Chase was so low there, but Daned with the rollout to get on top of Chase to finish him off does mean that Shoes Money Crew just get to cap this point up with no contest there.
Yeah, that pick up Lucio was brutal because it meant Fifth Dimension couldn't take the fight to Shoes Money Crew and stop them at the choke or wherever they wanted to stop them. And Shoes Money Crew free advance the point, and Danny showing their class there, getting that kill. And you know what? It's looking pretty good for Shoes Money Crew now. However, Cloud-D, they've got a hold on the high ground, they've got tools to work with. I want to see them open the fight with this Deadeye and try open up some opportunities for them doing this later on.
Daned very nearly gets caught out there, but a wonderful peel from Alex keeps them alive as this payload is still moving, but like you said, this high noon from Killer could be devastating from this high ground. Very easily kited away from SMC, but the engage is here right now. Daned taking out Batiste ill, going down, leaves very little healing on this payload, and something special has to happen. Daned will fall, but SMC keep this payload moving. 4.5 minutes, and this could be final fight, Ocean.
Yeah, Fifth Dimension, though, they have 4 ultimates online. They will probably have the sound barrier if it extends. However, Shoes Money Crew, they've got a Deadeye, they've got Earth Shatter, they've got Self-Destruct. A lot of ultimates where you can make really creative engagements. And when you've got a player like Dannon as well, who can, his creative engagement central, they've got a lot of opportunities to open up this fight and maybe put Fifth Dimension off their game plan.
Speed does go for that high noon, and maybe a little early here as the self-destruct from Chaos goes over the top. Nets them not very much here, but everything in the kitchen sink from Fifth Dimension is being thrown into this fight. Now Amplification Matrix, everything is in. Daned finds a pick. The pulse spot, the self-destruct from Alex will pick up Ilk as well. It's a matter of time here. The Shatter comes down and finds a good few, but when all is said and done, Shoes Money Crew take the gold box of victory home.
Yeah, honestly, you know, good showing for Fifth Dimension. However, this is just a testament to a team that is fireplace in Europe contenders, right? European contenders, fireplace. You know, that's the class that they have. They've got a player like Dan, I think, who come in and randomly throw in a random ball and get a kill. They've got players who can notice little mistakes and get it skilling. Fight is switch to right? Well, you've got Sab getting the kill on Lucio. Let's go, go, go. That's the go moment. They realize those opportunities a lot more often than 5D did, and they have more creative fight plans. So honestly, realistically, you kind of see that in this game, things aren't so as simple as, you know, maybe use one ultimate and that's your fight plan. It's also, can we take an off angle, pressure their main tank? It's all of that sort of things to try and force mistakes and give yourselves more creative openings, and that's exactly what SMC excelled at today.
Yeah, SMC just seemed as though they were sort of a class above Fifth Dimension, just in little things where Daned would pick up on someone just being out of position and take the initiative to go and find that kill and open a fight up. That being said, Fifth Dimension looking really good, and they will be advancing to the losers bracket in this tournament. So not down and out just yet. We do have one more game coming your way, but I believe we are headed to a short intermission before we go to that. So stick around. There's plenty more Overwatch right here. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
moving slow is what we know. If you're coming over, I just wanna be real with somebody, somebody like me. If I tell you how I'm feeling, would you say that you want me? That you want me? 'Cause I'm so sick of all the noise, all the back and forth. Just wanna find a still place where I could go. I lose myself, I cannot help it, I'm emotional. Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? Please let me know. White noise on the telephone, fall asleep to TV shows. It's what we know. Gets too comfortable. No space for the tangible. We get lost in the virtual. Are you less alone when you're logging on? If you're coming over, I just wanna be real with somebody, somebody like me. If I tell you how I'm feeling, would you say that you want me? That you want me? 'Cause I'm so sick of all the noise, all the back and forth. Just wanna find a still place where I could go. I
All right, welcome back to the Will English Invitational. My name is Will English IV. We've got Ocean, we got Simbabble, we got a bonus game for you all, ladies and gentlemen, in Hostile Takeover versus Munich Esports. And from what I understand, Ocean, it is a barn burner of a match, and it's win or go home. This is a loser, or I'm sorry, I'm going to use the EU term, a lower bracket decider match to get into our top 4 for tomorrow. But either way, both these teams want it bad, and I'm sure Simbabble, you're looking forward to this match, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to be here with some more Overwatch. The more Overwatch we get, the happier I am. And like you said, this is going to be one hell of a game.
Honestly, this is great, right? This format is brilliant. We have like a losers go home situation right now. I'll update you what's going on. We've got Hostile Takeover, Munich Esports playing right now. Munich Esports is a top Open Division team who have a lot of players who were on the kindergarten roster that finished top 6 in EU Open Division last time around. We've got Hostile Takeover, who, if you don't know, Hostile Takeover is a rebrand essentially from the old Contenders team, Roar Esports, who I believe have players like Lethal, etc. So you're kind of looking at this from a situation of, technically ex-Contenders organization, up-and-coming team, mostly from Germany, really strong rosters. And the other losers bracket match right now is Incendia versus 5D, which is another really exciting game. So, this tournament is absolutely nuts for any EU Overwatch fan.
And on top of that, it was a random draw, ladies and gentlemen. You got all this chaos by the fate of the ping pong balls. But either way, our teams are getting a little bit impatient, so I'm going to let you two do your thing. Take us home for our last game.
Yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's just jump straight in. I'm certainly looking forward to the final game of today, especially because we're starting with Lijiang Tower as well. One of my personal favorite maps. But, I mean, you've given us a little bit of the background for both of these teams, Ocean. If you had to put money down, who have you got winning this series here?
I'm going to go Munich, but I do think Hostile Takeover have a lot of creative players and interesting, and a really, really creative social media team as well. So if you get a chance to go and check them out, that's obviously something you should do. I'm excited for this matchup. I'm excited for this tournament in general. It's such a great feeling to have these tier 3 teams getting a chance to prove themselves, and of course tier 2 teams, in SMC's case. It's looking really fun. I'll enjoy this tournament so much.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we have got more Overwatch tomorrow as well. So make sure that you stick around. Give this channel a follow as well so that you do not miss the end of this tournament as well. This has just been such a great day. So once again, thanks for Will for setting all this up as we head to Control Center. Here we go, Ocean.
Oh, I'm so excited. Blood in my veins is going crazy here. So Munich Esports, Hostile Takeover. Both of these teams are probably going to try and rush and take that sort of server room. Munich Esports running that traditional scraping composition of Symmetra and Junkrat. They want to be there first. Hostile Takeover, when they engage, they're going to be going fierce with this Doomfist competition.
Yeah, they are, and they've got the Sigma as well, who's so much damage early on in these fights, as Bliss now has this Photon Barrier going crazy on the side of Munich. The picks coming in, some slight kickback from Olaf from Hostile Takeover, but when all the dust has settled here, Munich take that as quick as you can say. Munich Esports.
Yeah, Munich take that well. They take the area of space they wanted to. The problem for hostile takeover, honestly, when you're running this Doomfist composition, you need to play a lot faster and commit onto everything. And they just didn't do that. They never really found an opportunity similar to what we talked about in the previous series. They never found an opportunity, and they never committed to anything, which meant Munich just took the poke battle and rolled over hostile takeover in the previous fight. We'll see if something else happens in this next fight similar to that storyline.
Yeah, you can see Wicked Shield's already so low though, but a beautifully placed flashbang just takes Exo so very low. SSK all the while finds an opening pick, and that is the Doomfist, so that pick potential goes in a flash here. SSK still going on this Junkrat as well as Bliss will be taken out, and a hammer down comes in from Wicked as they pick up 2 picks themselves. Hostile takeover flip the point around, but Munich aren't done just yet. The Riptire will take out Olaf here, and it is all to play for on the point. It's chaotic, it's crazy, and it is control setup, baby. Munich will get the flip, and hostile takeover did have a couple moments there.
I think that's the craziest bit of rap I've ever heard in a commentary. That's absolutely brilliant. I love that. Munich Esports, they adapt well to that fight. They know they need to use the Riptire to take that fight. And hostile takeover, right? Let's slow things down a bit. Talk about how they adapted, right? That was a lot better from them. A big committed engagement on the Doomfist from Olaf, and the team followed up on it. Didn't quite get too much value, but they did flip the point, and they are looking a little bit stronger. Hope for more of that from them.
Good, and Exo in a lot of trouble there. Has this Shadow ready to go. The beat will come down to keep him alive, but the Deadeye takes out Sail there. He will fall as well, Exo, and now Hostile Takeover have numbers to barrel forward. Shan Bliss, however, will find picks of their own and even this up on the point. It's all out pandemonium on the payload, on the point right here, right now, as Hostile Takeover are just doing what their name does best. Goes for that Meteor Strike to Olaf as well. He will fall to Shan, who finds his third final blow this fight. The Symmetra out from Mac now to try and get back on the point, as the picks are still not in Hostile Takeover's favor. Now, Munich Esports barreling forward with the might of all their players. The Shadow will land from Exo as well, and SSK pick up a bunch of kills. Exo finds the pin, and that is 90% on the point, Ocean.
I don't know if they'll back for another fight. Hostile Takeover, their members are still respawning. Maybe Helmadrake or Rito could come and get a touch, and maybe they could take a 5v6. I think that's the best you can hope for Hostile Takeover, but no touch is there.
Yeah, pretty brutal. I mean, Munich just no brakes on the train there from Munich. They just kept pushing forward, and really good aggression coming out from those members.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this series a lot, right? So Hostile Takeover, they started off very, very slow. They didn't seem to kind of understand how their competition functioned and just didn't quite get any sort of team fight over the line. They started to improve over the course of it though, right? They managed to get some more aggressive engagements and get some percentage on the point. No real conviction enough to win a team fight. They have those small improvements are definitely exciting to see, and if Munich could keep adapting to the different engagements of Hostile Takeover, they'll probably take the series. But if Hostile Takeover can add a little more creativity to those aggressive engagements and follow up on it a little bit better, they might take a couple of team fights by surprise.
Yeah, and like heaps of damage coming in from Hostile as well. They've got the Mercy and the Zen, and there you see it. The right click just takes out Aussie straight away there. Munich without their Brigitte here, probably going to want to play this rather slowly until they're back in the fight. But that can end a fight right there, right, Ocean?
Yeah, it can. Your Brigitte, your main support, your player who dictates the pace of the game is gone. Hostile Takeover. We'll take this first fight, take percentage on the point. We'll stay in the fight a little bit to get a little bit of space. That space is already paying off.
Well, there we go. I mean, they just find picks in these situations that they have no business doing at Munich. They find 3 picks there. SSK kills Olaf as well. And as quickly as Hostile had the point, ironically, Munich take over.
Yeah, it's a Hostile Takeover. Once they do make that first initial engagement, they look pretty good, right? However, once the fight slows down, they never really get a second fight plan going and have something to do. They kind of just slip off, lose their attention span, and Munich Esports adapt well to the fight and take it back. We'll see if that narrative continues to show later on.
Yeah, well, a Wrecking Ball duel on the point here, as it seems as though Exo's in a spot above them, but SSK has his back and will take out Olaf there as Clothing will try for the remake here. Wicked goes very low and will be taken out themselves, as Bliss having a 1v3 with the Tracer. Sail will have their number, however, and Munich holding on to this point with relative ease at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it gets after the fight really, really well. Hostile Takeover started off pretty well again, but just can't get that second target to go on, right? They get the Tracer. What do you want to go on to next? What's the next time? What are we doing to try and win this fight? I don't see Hostile Takeover trying to win team fights. I see them trying to get kills, but it's not team fight winning. Look, Mock's done again. There's no plan to what's going on. And Munich, there's the team in control of this game right now, and that's terrible for map 1. No control of the match. You just don't know what's happening. Munich Esports, from here in this situation, might just dominate the series.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you see Ruby being taken out really early on again as well. Whilst they're waiting for a regroup, they just can't seem to get 6 players together. Lister is in that pulse bomb, but Max is better. Picks up SSK, and that might be the opening that they need, because Olaf has this duplicate ready to go. But as soon as I say it, Bliss goes for that counter pick and finds it. The duplicate now on Olaf, however, onto this Brigitte will get a rally quicker than you can say anything else. Got it online. They're going to let it go right here, right now. And the minefield in here forces out Transcendence from Sale. Self-destruct also thrown in over the top. It's 95% on the point, near enough. And ultimates are just being thrown in that small room there. Someone has to touch for Hostile Takeover, and they do just that. But it's not looking great for them as SSK will take out Olaf there. Picks back and forth, however, as Munich Esports are trying to clutch this back in what is a very scrappy ordeal. SSK really going to town here as numbers are thinning for the team that need to win this fight. The self-destruct is nothing but a desperate struggle on the point as Munich Esports take Lijiang.
Yeah, Munich Esports, they were the team in control of that entire map. Hostile Takeover, things were a little bit scrappy. You saw that last fight was kind of, you know, kind of like the perfect analogy of what happened there, right? You're throwing all these ultimates into a small room, but you're on 96%, they're on 96%, you gotta go touch the point. Feels like they need to just settle down, try and take control of this series, maybe simplify things down a little bit. Now I wanted more creative plans, however, I think simplifying it and maybe just making sure you're doing the basics right for Hostile Takeover, because right now, control of this series is Munich's hands. And that control of a series isn't just a one map thing, right? The way we're seeing that control and how dominant it is, that's going to go on to the next map. And if Hostile Takeover don't do anything to stop that, this is going to be a very fast one.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that last fight just now, and I was like, well, they were kind of... Munich forced the fight in that small room, right? Which is really unideal for a team who want to take the fight to the point because they have to touch. That being said, Hostile Takeover have so many mobile characters that you could have definitely taken that fight on the point, could you not have? I mean, the duplicate came out pretty early to get the Brigitte. You still could have sent your Echo over to the point to deal with that. You've got the Wrecking Ball, the Diva, who can all go there. The only person who can't really just push past and go to point is your Zenyatta. But if they play in that choke point that they kind of were playing in and weren't caught out, that was looking like a good fight for them. I just think that it seems like Munich are really dictating the pace of the fights and where they're happening, and Hostile Takeover are kind of just going along with it. And like you said, if that's how this series is going to go, then they're in for a rough series.
Yeah, and I feel like points, it looks a bit of a main support difference. And you know, main supports and main tanks are roles where you'll actually see them dictate the pace of the game. It'll be their decision, right? And it kind of feels like we're getting a little bit of a difference there in the main support role. Because I think Wicked actually made some really good plays, attempted to get something going for Hostile Takeover. That Minefield realistically should have got a lot of kills. I just feel like the side of Munich were really, really well prepared for that sort of engagement. And I feel like it might be a bit of a shot calling main support difference, or even just how the main supports are playing, how the DPS are getting resources, how the fight is being set up by different main supports. That's something that I want to look at later in the series. But for right now, Munich Esports firmly in control of this series, and Hostile Takeover, something has to change.
Yeah, they just need a hard reset. They need a couple seconds to regroup, take a breath, assess what was wrong, and go into this next game. Because if they let this next map play out the way that Lijiang did, like you said, this could be over quicker than anything that we've done yet today. They're not out of it yet, but Munich could take the next map as we go to Hollywood here. I mean, you were talking about the main support diff as well. I think the backline for Hostile Takeover just looked a little lost sometimes. I feel like Ruby on the Zen was caught out of position a couple times when they were trying to go for a reset and would get themselves picked off, and that would just slow down Hostile Takeover's re-engages. I think that you're hitting the nail on the head there, that the backline for Hostile Takeover is certainly something to look at as we go into Hollywood.
This is good here. They're on the defense here, Hostile Takeover. They've got a little bit of time to think about how they want to play this. It looks like they're going to go for a very simple variant of double bubble, no Brigitte, where you might extract a little bit more value, but now you've got Mercy. It's a bit more of a poke variant, and you want to slow things down and just poke from a distance and make things simple for yourselves, right? Let's make it simple. Let's play a double bubble or a brawl matchup, and maybe Hostile Takeover can regain a little bit of the control they lost. Well, control. It looks like we're going to have double bubble. This is double bubble.
Yeah, it seems so, but with the Brigitte instead of the Mercy. I mean, Aussie is going to be such a pain to deal with on the point, and we see Bliss posturing up here on this Ashe. It's going to be so devastating to do a lot of damage to this high ground for free, effectively. The dive now well and truly in, but a slightly misplaced bubble potentially there, as Mark will take out Sail here from Munich. It's going to be an instant reset. If you lose your honor, you can't go in.
Yeah, honestly, good fight right there for Hostile Takeover. You know, they're settling things down a little bit. I want to see them poke in front of the fight and just play a little bit more patient. And then once they see the opportunity, they have to go for it. That's what Munich did so well in the last round, and what Shoes Bunny Crew were doing so well in the last game. We'll see if Hostile Takeover can adapt and improve over this period.
Yeah, not much energy for Shan here on this Zarya, who's been a really good off-tank this series, a shining sigil for the team, as Munich Esports struggles still with Matt picking up 2 kills there and holding this defense strong, and they're not done just yet. They're pushing in. Wicked wants to get in and scout out and push this Winston here, but decides against it as his team is not quite with him and will reset. But 2.5 minutes on the clock left. Not a bad defense so far.
Look at the magic of just playing a simple composition, something you're comfortable with and do. Like, Mark is enjoying this, having so many resources, he's poking from afar. Look, there's another kill. Bliss is not having a good time here because the resources that the DPS are getting on the side of Hostile Takeover is a lot more simplified, and maybe not as much as what we looking for to happen. It's a lot simpler to work with.
Yeah, and I mean, SSK is trying to pry this door open as well with their own bare hands and is facing down Olaf on this Tracer, who is just giving him so much difficulty to get anywhere and take any control. This high ground is being held so well, but now we see Exo going in. He will get anti-nated up, and the pressure is on him. He does have control of the high ground, opts to drop down. It is very battered and bruised, backs up, did have the nano invested onto them as well, and really made no space there, Ocean.
Yeah, but here comes the nano boost at the Winston. Mark goes down. This is where the chaos runs loose. This is where you can't just play patient. You needed to be proactive. I mean, Esports, they take full advantage and finally get something going here on Hollywood.
Yeah, I feel like I cast a curse that ever so slightly, saying that Exo got nothing out of his dive and then he dove back in and immediately took out Mark. But as soon as one player fell for Hostile, I mean, Munich just capitalized on it so well.
Well, this is where ult tracking and fight planning comes into consideration, right? You can poke from afar and be really, really comfortable. At some point, you need to be the aggressors. You need to be the team setting the pace. You need to be the proactive team. That was one of those moments, and Munich took one of those moments, and they looked so good in that fight, and they will get going here as Exo. Let's get something going in again on point B. Already displacing Hostile Takeover off the high ground.
Yeah, they take the high ground, but only momentarily, and Exo doesn't really get much out of it. And once again, Cast a Curse will set it, and Shan will take out Mac. Kotanks will clap it back, though, and find Shan here. So 5v5 on the point, but Wicked in a world of hurt here, forced to get out of the way. The pulse bomb from Olaf goes wide, doesn't find anything here. Exo now with the nano boost on him to boot. Not really sure where he's going with it. He doesn't look like he's got a solid plan, and we'll just opt to occupy this high ground and go for this mega health pack, as this payload is still contested, Ocean.
Yeah, what I really like about Hostile Takeover here is it's very patient, very simple, which is one thing at a time, and it's working well. One thing at a time. Exo, let's go for Exo, let's punish Exo, right? That's better.
Yeah.
And now they're going up to the high ground and trying to get Bliss. This is a lot better from Hostile Takeover.
Yeah, and the picks are coming in clutch. They're finding their stride, they're getting the picks, and they're slowing this payload down now. Wicked, I think they only invested the nano boost onto Wicked there, and it won them the fight with good positioning and, like you said, just good macro play.
Yeah, a lot better. A little simplified from Hostile Takeover, and they're getting a little bit more creative in this map as well. I think they're a lot more comfortable in this series. I think it's safe to say the control that Munich Esports had in this series is gone. Hostile Takeover getting themselves back into this one.
Yeah, Wicked does take a bunch of damage there. It is just forced back as the elevator looks like the play. But Hostile Takeover are caught it out and want to send a bomb downtown. Will get slept up here and the rally is forced out. Helmdrake putting that down to keep everyone nice and healthy on this high ground as Hostile Takeover really do just have complete control of the map and are not letting Munich move an inch.
Really wants to get that pulse bomb, hasn't charged up. I wonder if they're going to get at something in that back round.
Graviton Surge comes down and the pulse bomb on Olaf will find Sale there. Huge. Olaf finds 3. That's unbelievable from the Tracer player there from Hostile Takeover. There are 2 picks on the opposing side, but a scrappy fight is where a Tracer makes their bread and butter. Hostile Takeover struggling to maintain control here as Exo with the Primal Rage finds 2. Olaf clapping back and finds a forward kill of their own here. An unbelievable star performance play from the Tracer of Hostile Takeover here, but the payload will keep moving when all the dust is settled.
Well, Munich, they may win that fight. However, Olaf at least gets about 40 seconds of the fight and makes sure that it's a little bit more complicated for Munich than they would like. They have the Nano Boost engagement. A pretty simple fight plan for both teams here. Graviton for Hostile Takeover, Nano Boost for Winston and Munich. Let's see who comes out on top.
Well, with the anti-nade coming down onto Helm there, his numbers up, his goose is cooked, and he is down. That being said, it's now a 4v4 thanks to more heroics from DPS plays, this time from Munich, looking really good. They are coming it back now. The Graviton Surge in droves, and Olaf once again just turned it up a notch and finds 2 picks off the back of that, and with 15 seconds on the clock, this is desperation time for Munich.
No, Shan! Shan and Exo are both low, and the fact that Shan's down, it's going to be a 5v6 fight or nothing for Munich Esports right now, and they still need to get Exo topped up.
Yeah, SSK has to be the one to touch here, and they do get this payload rolling, albeit very slowly, and like you said, a 5v6 here with Mark just shooting fish in a barrel from up on high. Unbelievable demonstration as the Primal Rage also out from Wicked to displace anyone who tries to get near this payload. Olaf is on the case as well, sends his pulse bomb wide, does take a slight bit of damage from it as well as he will fall finally to Exo. His reign of terror is over, and Exo will be going to work on this Winston. Half HP, however, numbers are thin for Munich Esports and they want to get this payload over the line here. An anti-nade will initiate this, but a rally coming out makes it so difficult as Helmdrake just barrels forward now and stopping anyone from getting any headway on this payload. Their number is up as Ruby will take out Sale and nobody touches. Hostile Takeover with a really good hold.
That's exactly what Hostile Takeover needed to do. We said they needed to simplify things and then start working themselves into some creative plans, etc. That's exactly what that defense was, and that's perfect. That's exactly what you need. Simple poke composition on point A, get a couple of picks, you're back, you're comfortable, you've got a little bit more control of the series than you had previously, and then on point B defense, you're controlling the high ground as well. Olaf is getting a little more comfortable to go and make plays like that post one, getting 4Ks. Olaf, in this map in particular, has stepped up brilliantly. And now Hostile Takeover, when this series potentially looked done after map 1, have held on point B Hollywood and now have a way back into this. Can they actually take the path that they've set for themselves, though?
Yeah, Munich really need a strong hold here. If they've got any chance of stopping Hostile getting to that golden box of victory halfway through Streets, or sort of 3/4 of the way through Streets, but still it's very difficult to defend that, certainly if you lose a fight or two. And a nice anti-nade from Sale there sets themselves on 10% ult charge, and not nearly as much pressure on Hostile Takeovers to get through this choke at present. Exo will just try and prod at the point, but it's forced back immediately and is battered and bruised, forced back into this corralled corridor here, very low as Olaf is just chunking down. Damage will fall, however, even though they did a ton of work, and Munich hold on to this until Aussie will be taken out by Mac here. Exo just prodding this high ground as Wicked going to work, but SSK and Bliss also want to get involved. They find a pick a piece with SSK still going on, and this map has just been whose Tracer is popping off harder.
This fight's still alive technically for both teams. Both teams having to back up and regroup. Whoever regroups better here and has a softer reset is in a good position. And that's not how you reset and get ready to go for another engagement. Not another team fight, but another engagement. Olaf down. This fight will slow down for now. Going into this next fight, both teams trying to set up their DPS and make sure they can control the high ground. Hostile Takeover are going to struggle to do that with how they're playing right now.
Yeah, but SSK is in the back. He finds the stick and will trade out with Helm, but he will get the kill onto him. And all that pulse bomb damage is just adding up to more final blows for Munich Esports, who have held onto this beautifully after that rather shaky beginning on the defense.
Yeah, however, look at Hostile Takeover's ultimates. They'll play up all 6, at least for the mid fight here. Munich Esports, they just use their primal, they just use their post bomb. So that's one less tool that can sort of make Hostile Takeover's engagement difficult, and one less tool to prolong the fight and maybe get a stronger graviton surge. So 50-50 fight here, but Hostile Takeover half the edge, you don't.
Yeah, and I mean, if Bliss just keeps shooting heads like this, then they're not going to have to worry about ultimates as she picks up a third there with the dynamite, and Shan also taking out Wicked. There's only 2 minutes left and no ticks to be seen, Ocean. There's still, like you said, so many ults for Hostile here, though.
Yeah, Hostile Takeover, they've got to get this right, because look at the time bank, right? You've not got many opportunities left at this. This is probably going to be your best one, because Munich Esports, they're building those ultimates back up. You've got 6 for this fight. It's now or never for Hostile Takeover.
Yeah, here we go. The fight is well underway. The nano onto Exo here as they go in. A pulse bomb from Olaf might just open this up, however, as Mark finds one with Bob and Olaf a second as well. But Bliss's Bob also involved. That matters not, however, when Olaf is on the field with that rally armor to boot. They are unstoppable, a mobile tank, and they will finally break the dam and cap up this payload.
Yeah, let's finally Hostile Takeover will get it. I said it was now or never. It was now that Hostile Takeover will get this payload moving on Hollywood. Now, the Wiki Edition simple. Get to the end of point B and take us to a map 3 for the second time in today's matches. It looks like they've started strong. Aussie to join after a nice dive from Wicked.
Yeah, really well played. Wicked will fall, but they can keep this payload moving. That being said, SSK was all the way in the back and is stopping this payload moving. All the while, Bliss and Shan are picking up the kills on the high ground, and that now allowed everyone from Munich Esports to push all the way up onto the payload. Any ground gains for Hostile Takeover has been completely revoked.
Esports has a perfect fight for them. That's exactly what they needed. All credit to SSK slowing down that team fight and allowing Munich Esports to come back into that without their pizza player. Very, very difficult call made from Munich, but it's the right call. Hostile Takeover now, they've got their frontline ultimates with Primal Rage and yet Munich have the ultimate economy lead right now.
Yeah, no hanging around. The grab comes down and the pulse bomb on top as well. And Bliss happy to just shoot into that mass of opponents there. Munich looking like they have got an iron grip on this high ground and cycling ults beautifully from them as Bliss has this Bob as well again.
This is getting a little bit sketchy for Hostile Takeover here. It was looking great for them on their defense, and they finally got a good attack run gunning here. But look at the timing. 2 minutes, and you probably have to win 2 fights consecutively here. You don't have too many ultimates here. I think a lot of this is going to be maybe not this fight, but the next one. Can you win the next fight and then set yourselves up to get a little bit of a snowball going? Otherwise, Exo's going to take full advantage here.
Yeah, Exo does go in with that nano boost on top of him. It's going to be so much cleave damage in these small rooms here. He does get out, but the payload has started to move. Finally, a little bit of reprieve. Wicked, now their turn to have this nano. Sets their sights on the animal. Will get slept up. Beautifully played, and Munich Esports are still finding picks. Their DPS are stepping up and stepping in as Wicked will fall to Bliss. The anti-nade onto SSK gets them very, very low, but it's not stopped them. The recall's available and they want to keep pushing. This could be final fight here, Ocean.
I think it is final fight because you've got to win 2 fights if you're Hostile Takeover. If you want to take us to a map 3, you've got to win 2 fights in a row. Do they have the ult to do that? I mean, maybe it's get a snowball thing. Otherwise, it's really good for Munich if they can build up that rally.
Yeah, the rally is on from Helm here. They want to take the fight right here, right now, but Mac is in trouble. He's got a Tracer on his behind. Will go down, but all the while, the high ground has been occupied from Hostile Takeover, and they finally dislodged Munich from that high ground. The final stall will come through from Exo. He had to slow this down ever so slightly, but this will be overtime one way or another.
I think this is going to be a Hostile Takeover. I think they've got to take as much space as possible and make it hard for Munich to come out of these doors, especially if Exo coming out late. If they could get like a little bit of a spawn camp going before that rally's built up, they're in a good position. And Wicked has the primal to do that. Maybe disrupt a couple of players, but it seems Munich already out of spawn and ready to fight.
Yeah, they throw the rally in, but just as you wrote it, Wicked's going in with that Primal Rage, trying to dislodge and cap that up. They do capitalize on it as Bliss will fall, not before trading out, however, with his sniper counterpart. Now Exo in a spot of bother on the payload, but somebody has to touch as Exo will fall now. Numbers thinning out for the defense, and the nano boost is committed onto SSK to keep him alive. Graviton surge in over the top of the pulse bomb going down too. No kills will be netted for Munich here, as it is desperation hour now. They're clutching and clawing, but no one can touch. We're going to a map 3. Hostile takeover. Take on Hollywood.
I was a little worried for Hostile Takeover there. Once Munich managed to get out of spawn, get that rally coming, get themselves into the fight. Oh yeah, for Olav and Wicked, the heroes of the day, realistically, they're making sure they get those kills and get themselves back into it. Make sure they have a fighting chance of taking this map, and that's exactly what they did. We're going to a map 3.
Yeah, and I mean, you watched this play of the game, and I really thought that Munich were going to full hold. I really did. Once we got to that sort of 2-minute 30 mark, it looked really, really solid from Munich. But Hostile Takeover, they had great resilience. They kept going. They knew that they just had to do something, and they managed to make it work. So credit to them, and now we have a map 3 on our hands.
Yeah, and that was a really difficult situation mentally. You come back, you kind of got rolled on Li Zhong and never really had any control. We talked about the control of this series a lot, but they simplified the game down, and then once they were more comfortable, brought themselves back into it. And now, if we kind of look at the growing narrative of this game, Hostile Takeover had some very difficult fights that they managed to win, and it was a shaky win. And if you're Munich Esports and you're generally seen by the community as a better team, it's going to be a difficult one mentally now for you. So let's not forget the loser of this goes home. The winner goes into tomorrow. Hostile Takeover slowly getting a little bit of momentum going in this series. Munich Esports looking to regain control. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's all to play for in our map 3. Loser goes home. Don't you, however, go anywhere. We'll be back just after this.
Like empires, we rise and then we fall. Can the tides calling, calling through it all? Titans watching, waiting. Once rivals, now we sit patient at the end of the world. Where will we be? Immortality. empire.
Welcome back. It is the last map of the day. That is for sure. We are in the losers bracket decider. I mean, Ocean, we have had a crazy series so far.
Yeah, honestly, I thought the series was done after the first round. Honestly, and I was kind of commentating like that. However, Hostile Takeover, they bounced back extremely well in Hollywood. The perfect way to bounce back into a series, slowly getting more comfortable and then building it up. Now they're in a really good, comfortable, and confident zone. They could definitely take this map free.
Yeah, they certainly could. But that being said, I mean, it was a close Hollywood, a really close Hollywood. It really could have gone either way. But some heroics came out from Hostile Takeover, which we've already seen happening for Munich. These scrappy fights keep breaking out, and Olaf has looked so good for Hostile Takeover, and we've seen SSK look really good for Munich as well. So at the moment, it does seem to be the tale of two traces, and who can get more done when these fights completely break down.
It's going to be interesting as well to see if Hostile Takeover the same as they did in Hollywood, right? Or do they collapse to what they did on Legion? I'm hoping they stay the same, because if we do, we are in for a thriller of a map 3.
Yeah. I believe we're into Gibraltar as well as we head to our map 3, which means that we're gonna get more double bubbles, and we saw that Hostile Takeover looking pretty comfortable on that double bubble. So certainly going to be interesting as we go into that.
Yeah, 100%, right? You know, these two teams very, very closely matched. A little closer match than I expected, and I'm just excited. Let's just get into the map. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm sure both teams are itching to get going as well. It really is all to play for. Like we said, this is the losers bracket map 3. So somebody is going home at the end of Gibraltar, which, I mean, I'm going to prod you again for an answer, Ocean. Who have you got taking Gibraltar?
Ooh. Oh, I was hoping you didn't ask. I think Munich are the better team. However, I don't see Munich in this game. And also, we just played double bubble in the previous map of Hollywood, and I'm gonna go Hostile Takeover, I think.
Oh, I think that's a hot take, and I like it. I think you've got complete reason to do that, though. Like you said, the double bubble coming out from Hostile Takeover looked a little better. It looked a little better than what Munich were running. And as we are headed to Gibraltar, that is going to be
where that type of composition really soars. So might be a Sombra coming out from Olaf, which is a color we haven't seen from them just yet, which is certainly interesting.
30 seconds.
It's very interesting indeed. We're going to see Hostile Takeover on the defense like they were on the map they just previously won. So that's something that's going to mean confident in their minds, right? They know that they did really well on defense previously and were able to set the pace of the game. Let's see if they can do something similar on Gibraltar.
Yeah, I mean, we're also potentially going to see Bliss v Mac Widow 1v1s, which should be interesting. And no mercies for either team here, so no second chances, no resurrects as we go into our final map.
The payload.
Yeah, both teams playing the Potato, which means it's less poke-based. It's more about finding these opportunities and then getting in your scope into the fight a little bit closer and brawling it. Because Mickey's was always looking to set up a grab on the hard that all went wrong as their flex support goes down.
Oh, Mac taking out 2 to open that up, just stifling Munich Esports, even moving this payload an inch. Doesn't even get through to that underbelly section right there as Exo is going to stay on payload, but doesn't want to push this too far and get caught out without his supports. We're now just about back.
Yeah, oh, right. So, yeah, they're about to set up another time onto the high. We're going to see Exo come in. And so for the pizza, they've already gone for it. Helmet Drake caught a little bit unaware.
Yeah, Helm Drake just not getting out of there fast enough. Couldn't quite decide what was going to happen. And Exo takes full advantage of that. Now the payload looking in a wonderful position to cap up if this fight is won by Munich. And by the looks of it, with Exo going in on top of the snipers on this high ground, looking pretty good. Wicked, however, peeling back for his squishies as SSK just pushes the payload right on in. No one looking like they're going to be able to get here to stop it, although Wicked does get on, will go low and fall to SSK. The stagger's still coming through to build some time off that clock as a pulse bomb is forced onto Pro-Tanks, will fall as well. Bliss trying to get the better of his Widow counterpart and will just do that as Exo finishes off Drake, and that will be first point.
Yeah, they do get a little bit of time off the clock. However, is that enough time off the clock? Realistically, no. I think you need to get a little bit more value out of Gibraltar first point defense. I think realistically you should be sitting with a little bit more time off the clock than just a minute and a half. Positives though for Hostile Takeover. You've got an EMP for that time, one of the biggest ultimates in the game. Question for Munich is, can you engage first with a nano primal and offset the disruption with that EMP? Let's see what they can do.
But a huge EMP comes out and catches 5 there, but no casualties just yet. SSK is double packed and Olaf will fall. Picks finally coming through to slow this down, even though not really off the back of that EMP. The Primal Rage getting involved there as Wicked goes to town and finds 2 with that Primal.
That's the best result you could have hoped for Hostile Takeover. A clean EMP fight win, and additionally, Munich Esports used the nano boost, which realistically should have been their plan last fight, to use the nano boost onto the Winston, get an engagement going before the EMP came out. That should have been the plan for Munich. However, they didn't get it off, and now they won't have that nano boost for this next fight, which means that this engagement's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially with the DPS. But Hostile Takeover sitting on that high ground, got a Zarya up there as well. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, and all the pressure onto Exo right now. He's stunned up and is forced to use that Primal Rage. He slept, but won't get anything out of that now as Olaf is just holding on this payload, stopping any progress going to it. SSK finding 2 there and opening this fight way back up for Munich. Now everybody from Munich corralled into this airship, but they have all the picks in the world to keep pushing this payload forward.
I wonder what Olaf's looking for in this pack. I don't know if they're going to get another fight. Hostile Takeover. I think Olaf just isolated themselves while looking for the perfect situation. And that perfect situation never came. Aussie is going to use that rally and try and close out point B.
Yeah, dueling rallies on the point now as Olaf is back on the point. SSK will fall to Mac and switched over to the McCree. A big purple anti-nade onto Munich Esports here might stop them just shy of capping this up. Certainly with Exo going down in a nanoed helm as the Brigitte on this payload's gonna send Munich packing.
Alright, lovely fight for Hostile Takeover. I didn't really expect that, honestly. I thought Munich really should have had that going. They had the rally, they had Hostile Takeover where they wanted them, and now Hostile Takeover using that momentum to try and hold the throne.
Yeah, they do, and they take out Bliss as Mac finds the kill. Good aggression from Wicked to get involved and
find that, and the time bank has been whittled down now a bit more, Ocean. This is looking more reasonable.
Yeah, 100%. And also, Wicked didn't even have to invest the primal range there, which is something I thought they might have to commit to that engagement. So they've got a little bit more to work with. Hostile Takeover to make the fights longer, and that means that Graviton Surge can open up, and it already has an opportunity here if they don't take this engagement.
Yeah, picks go either side here. Munich gets stuck in a grab, and a pulse bomb does go onto them. They will not fall, however, as Munich stand tall. The C9 nearly comes in as Olaf has to step up to the plate to defend, but will get taken out by SSK, and the cap is through.
I have to go back and watch the bottom happen there, because the setup for that fight from Hostile Takeover is great. They got the Graviton Surge pulse bomb opportunity, and then nothing happened. The kills didn't come through, so the execution, some things went off there. Some cooldown hasn't been tracked. Munich Esports a little lucky to get through that, but they take the opportunity brilliantly and capture point B. And this is at risk of snowballing all the way to the end here. Look at the ultimates from...
Yeah, and Exo wants to
Look at the ultimates for Hostile Takeover.
more time. They want to go in here. The Primal Rage is out, and the Graviton Surge in on top. Angry Monkey, Pulse Bomb, and a Dynamite on the top. What more could you ask for? A perfect murder right there. Olaf tries to make some magic happen in the backline, but his number is up, and he will be taken out by SSK. Final fight here, Ocean.
Olaf gets a pick though on that Sally Ultix at the back, which means that Nano Boost, that Nano Primal, or that Nano Winston isn't online for Munich right now. Hostile Takeover, they can just walk in with this rally and get a team fight going. That means that the snowball potential for Munich is not there.
Yeah, I mean, look how much Munich respected the rally. They just got on out of there, and now Exo is back in, finds a pick onto Mac, and SSK takes out Ruby. Just the Brigitte to heal this front line now, who are struggling to keep this alive. All the time in the world now for Munich Esports to walk this payload in. Nobody even touches to dwindle down the bank.
What I'm a little bit concerned of Hostile Takeover. That fight started perfectly for them, right? They used that rally, they got themselves out. Munich Esports were cowering back, and then they just stood there. It just all went flat. The pace of the fight just went perfectly for Munich Esports. They had the time just to wait and go for their engagement. You had a Nano Boost. Why not just go for an aggressive Winston engagement? If you get one kill, you've got the better respawns. I feel like Hostile Takeover, such a good start to the fight, and it just fell flat. And that's one of those moments where you're in a fight and it just goes away from you. You don't know what quite went wrong. And the answer is, truthfully, everything went wrong. So Hostile Takeover, that's going to be hard to bounce back from, and also for Munich. That might be the moment that just wins in this series.
Yeah, I mean, Munich did a really good job of disengaging there. They were down their Ana, the rally was up for Hostile, so they just backed up and they were like, okay, fine, you use it, and then I'll just jump on your Widow when you've all pushed a little wonky. So really well played from Munich, as much as it was a slight faux pas from Hostile there. Olaf on the Genji.
Interesting. I wonder if they're just going to try and have really simple win conditions, like not probably Graviton Surge, those are win conditions, and simplify things a little bit.
And that can win you maps. Like, you can just cycle these ultimates wonderfully if you can do that, and it certainly will just win you maps. Mac on this Widow, however, trying to find something to shoot at and struggling a little bit. As Munich Esports all in this small area. Mac finally finding Bliss there as Olaf will fall to Exo. A piece will favor Hostile Takeover, of course, as they progress to try and take some map control. Mac, however, just grapples into the entire core of Munich Esports and is now in a little bit of trouble here. Going to be forced to prove his mettle on the payload. Does get out with his life, and this payload's going to keep moving, Ocean.
Yeah, they're going to get a little bit of space, and they're actually going to pressure it on it out, but it's not too much to be concerned for Munich Esports. They've now got easy engagement onto the tanks, and Code Tank already down.
Oh, Munich are so good at just backing up, alleviating pressure, and then going back in. That being said, Mac is doing so much work on this Widow and is getting it done. We'll find a pick, and Ruby taking out SSK as well. Anna diff, man, doing so well. Shan finally takes out Ruby, though, so this payload's not going to move, but the slight jolt in momentum that Hostile Takeover managed to do there.
Yeah, they'll have a little bit of a chance now for a simpler engagement. Ruby's eventually going to build up to that Nano Boost. I think this is going to be a tale of two engagements. Where are these engagements going to go? Where are these Nano Winston going to lift the target?
Yeah, well, here we go. No time wasted here as Munich Esports Exo wants to get busy with this Nano, but finds very few targets here. Wicked has his sights set on him. Exo there trying to control this blue box, but will be just forced out as Mac once again gets the better of Bliss. And without that threat of a Widow, freedom on the high ground is available for Hostile Takeover. A grab will come through, however, to stifle Wicked's engagement here, but the Primal is available for him. Then he is healthy and kicking a storm up in this server room. Going to town, forced out a little bit as Exo does find Mac again. Wicked just not able to get anything out of that Primal Rage, gets slept up, and now SSK is back in the fight. Olaf and Ruby on the flip side, however, for Hostile Takeover are finding the picks and making this happen, but a minute 30 on the clock. They've got to close this out quickly or we're looking at final fight as Munich Esports claw this battle back from the jaws of defeat.
It's just messy for both teams. I think Wicked's just going to accept defeat here. However, they'll know confidently that just with a couple more things they would have won that previous team fight. The problem now for Hostile Takeover is no resources, but they do have a pick on Tashan, on the Zarya. It's go time for Hostile Takeover.
Well, you say that, but then SSK finds a kill onto Mac that evens it up with respawn advantage favoring Munich Esports. A Graviton surge onto high ground stops Munich Esports, sending more resources to the low ground here as Helmer will take out SSK. Has his number, but the Primal Rage now Wicked smells blood in the water and is going to town on this payload, which is tantalizingly close to this second point. Shan, however, is not done and wants to keep this alive, is doing work. Wicked on the flip side, finding picks of their own, and now 30 seconds on the clock. A Hostile Takeover out of steam.
Well, Malk's going to try and get a touch behind and maybe get that mega health pack to try and last fight. But what the Hostile Takeover have to win this fight? Maybe a nano guys or a nano tracer, some sort of weird DPS. Happen. I'm not at 5v6 if Hostile Takeover have any chance of keeping this stream alive.
Yeah, this is desperation hour, and not only a 5v6, maybe a 7 as the bomb goes up onto the blue box here. Pulse Bomb also expended from Olaf, finds nothing, not ideal from your star player to try and open this up. Bliss will go ham. This bomb is doing God's work upon the high ground here. Exo picks up Olaf as well. Desperation ticks down for Hostile Takeover, and Munich Esports take it home. They will be progressing through the losers bracket.
Yeah, Munich Esports advance themselves to tomorrow, and Hostile Takeover, despite all their hard efforts, will be eliminated from the competition. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. You know, you had some typical matchups, and Hostile Takeover, I have to say, I was impressed. I saw a little bit more from them than I really expected today, and definitely well played from them. Munich Esports will advance to tomorrow. I'm sure they're absolutely over the moon with that. But let's talk about not just this game, but the future we have ahead. We've got Shoes Money Crew and Fourth Dimension locked in the winners finals for tomorrow. We've got Munich Esports through. Now we've got Incendia or 5D both playing right now. I think they're in map 2. I know 5D have a lead in that series currently. We're set up for an absolutely awesome EU day tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, we absolutely are. And the fun, like Ocean's just said, has not stopped yet. Make sure that you do keep track of this channel, drop it a follow, all that good stuff so that you do not miss what's going on tomorrow. That does, however, more or less wrap it up from myself, Simbabble, and Ocean. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I think we're closing out with Will here.
All right. So,
maybe
audio issues aside, I almost muted myself. Thank you so much, Simbubble and Ocean, for that wonderful cast. And yeah, again, congratulations to Munich Esports. I hope they got the right team. Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the scroll. Yeah, so congratulations to Munich Esports. I had it right for moving on to the bracket. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Hostile Takeover. And also, we have to say goodbye to Server Name back in the losers bracket as well. They lost their match early in the losers bracket. And there's also a bye because of one of the teams didn't making it. But yeah, so we have a stacked tournament for the EU tomorrow. So that tournament will be at the same time. Well, at least we're going to try the same time. And I'm going to make sure that I have my time zones correct when I make the announcement today, but it should be 8 o'clock my time, and I think that's going to be 1 o'clock British Standard Time or summertime, and then 2 o'clock Central European Standard Time. Yeah, so okay, I think I
Nailed it.
got it. I'm gonna be EU just yet, but either way, thank you both so much. This is not the end, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the NA side of the bracket, and this has been so much action. We're gonna roll right into the NA side in about half an hour or so. And I think Ocean, you're joining us for this, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm here for some NA action, and we're going to be joined by Bullskunk on the mic as well.
Absolutely. So, don't want to miss it. The NA bracket is heating up already. We've already had some bracket updates actually on the other side, but like the rest of the group stages for the North American bracket is going to finish out today, and we're going to find out who's going to be in our top 4 for the NA bracket as well coming in tomorrow. But once again, thank you both so much. And Ocean, I'll see you in about half an hour or so on the other side of the bracket. Simbabble, stay frosty. We appreciate it. We will see you in about half an hour or so for the Capture the Point pre-show right here on this channel. Don't go anywhere. Thank you all so much. And thank you all, you crazy EU fans. If you want more of this, support this channel. I am here and I'm here to stay. And I love all of you, so post. Thank you to all the community and all the support. I will see you all in about half an hour. Wait, goodbye, guys.
We could go anywhere. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon. We could be any place. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon. moving slow, it's what we know. If you're coming over, I just wanna be real with somebody like me. If I tell you how I'm feeling, would you say that you want me? Cause I'm so sick of all the noise, all the back and forth. Just wanna find a still place where I could go. I lose myself, I cannot help it, I'm emotional. Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? Please let me know. White noise on the telephone, fall asleep to TV shows. It's what we know. Gets too fall. Can the tides calling, calling through it all? Titans watching, waiting. Once rivals, now we sit patient. At the end of the world, where will we be? Immortality is calling. They'll speak our names forever. Gonna build an empire. Twin pillars, the east and the west, scorch our names in the dirt. They're calling us in. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? At the end of the world, where will we be? Immortality is calling. They'll speak our names forever. Eclipse the world together. Gonna build an empire. Build an empire. Take the world by fire. Gonna build an empire. This is what we've been waiting for. They don't know we've been keeping score. This is our destiny. Can you hear the calling? At the end of the world, where will we be? Immortality is calling. Speak our names forever. Eclipse the world together. Gonna build an empire. Gonna build an empire. Gonna take the world by fire. Gonna build an empire. An empire. An empire. the sky. Every road that we followed had to hold on just so we could let go. And the night goes on so we could know what the light feels like when it comes up. I got a fever and it's breaking. Oh, we found a way, oh, true believer. Yeah, we're waking up. We found a way, oh, high dive in the indigo, cool down when I'm all alone. I let it go. Talk over the radio, think fast but we're moving slow. It's what we know. If you're coming over, I just wanna be real with somebody like me. If I tell you how I'm feeling, would you say that you want me? Cause I'm so sick of all the noise, all the back and forth. Just wanna find a still place where I could go. I lose myself, I cannot help it, I'm emotional. Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? Oh, if you feel like this, would you let me know? Would you let me know? Please let me know. Would you let me know? White noise on the telephone, fall asleep to TV shows. It's what we know, gets too comfortable. No space for the tangible, we get lost in the virtual. Are you less alone when you're logging on? If you're coming over, I just wanna be real with somebody like me. If I tell you how I'm feeling, would you say that you want me? Cause I'm so sick of all the noise, all empire. could let go, and the night goes on, so we what you need. No. What you need. No. fall. Can the tides calling through